you can create and connect pixel from Facebook to your Shopify. So let's first start by setting up our column so we can read the data that is most important to our funnel. So let's get started. So first of all, what you have to do is you see this option over here, click on this and then scroll down and click on customize column. So we will set up in this way. First will be campaign, delivery, ad set name, budget, and then we'll start adding some more columns over here, right? So yeah, let's get started. So how these columns are decided and basically their order as well. So what we are doing here is we are basically trying to understand what metric basically comes at the top of the funnel or the start of the funnel. So for example, we know that our Facebook ads will be at the start. So we need to find out metrics so that we can analyze our Facebook ads first. That should be at the top. And then later on, when customer actually see our ad and then they come to our website. So then we'll see what metrics are responsible to check and analyze the data that are responsible to see the data on our website and then the checkout. Okay, so in this order, we have basically added our columns. So first of all is CPM. Okay, so we'll start with CPM. You can search for CPM if you don't find it here. So you can search for CPM and click on this. Ideally, you will find it somewhere here, right? So I've already added it at the top, but you can place it over here, right? CPM. As you can see, it mentioned CPM is cost per thousands impression. Okay, so basically this is the price, this is the amount that you pay to Facebook to show your ad to like 1,000 placements inside their meta platforms, like all the platforms. Okay, so cost per 1,000 impression. What is an impression? Impression is counted for each time your ad is shown to someone, and by someone it is possible that to the same person there are multiple impressions. So for example, one on Facebook, one on Instagram. So every impression actually counts here, and for 1,000 impressions the amount that you pay is CPM. Okay, so which is our next column, which is impressions, right? What is reach? Reach, in contrast, is basically count the number of unique meta accounts that your ad was shown to. So if your ad is shown 4 times to, let's say, someone specific person, right? You'll have 4 impressions, but only one reach. Okay, because it is basically individual meta accounts that determines the reach, whereas impression is each individual placement on any I would say like platform, right? It can be on Facebook multiple times, or it can be on IG, right, to the same person. So every placement, every time the ad is shown, is counted as impression, whereas the reach is the individual meta accounts. Okay, then the next one is hook rate. So it's a custom metrics actually. So let me show you how you can create these custom metric. So what hook rate is, first of all, let's understand what hook rate is. So it's a custom metric that we have created. This metric is dedicated to assessing the effectiveness of your video ads. Okay, the hook rate shows how effective the first 3 seconds of your video are. You may have heard about hook or the scroll stopper, right? So it's basically the initial 3 to 5 seconds. And to analyze like how you're able to grab attention, hook plays the most important role. Okay, the initial 3 to 5 seconds are actually the main scroll stopper, and that determines how you're able to grab the attention. And that is why we have this metric in place, so that we can know, okay, which video ad is able to grab attention, okay, and by how much percentage. So this hook rate metric is a percentage parameter. So let's see how we can create it. Okay, so you can click on create custom metric. You can name it as hook rate. Here in the format, you can select percentage. Okay, here you can say 3-second video plays divided by impressions. Okay, so over here you see 3-second video plays divided by impression. So this means that out of all the impressions that Facebook has shown your ad to, out of that, how many people have basically played your video for 3 seconds or more, right? So that's the percentage that we'll get, and this will determine, okay, how good or how effective the hook of a particular video is. Okay, we'll click on create metric, and this will create our hook rate. Ideally, whenever you select from here, it will come at here, some like in the down place, right at the bottom. You can basically grab it and just place it at the top like this way. I've already placed it, so it's over here, hook rate, right? And the next one is hold rate. Okay, what this is? Again, this is a custom metric, which means through plays divided by impressions. Again, what through play is? Through play is nothing but 15-second video play, like someone who has played more than 15 seconds. As you know, like we mentioned about hook rate, which means that how many people have basically watched 3 seconds of your video. Hold rate basically means that how many people have watched more than 15 seconds of your video. So that's why through play is a percentage to decide how good or effective your video is in holding people and watching, basically let them watch the rest of your video, right? So that is a hold rate. Okay, and again, how you can create this: click on create custom metric, search for hold rate, like you can name it as hold rate, and then percentage here as well, search for through plays, and then divide it by impressions. Okay, and then click on create metric. So again, hold rate shows you how effective your video is at retaining attention until the end, or at least like 15 seconds, right? So why we are using these custom metrics? So as you know that now creative is the king, we need to understand, okay, uh, like which video is basically great in grabbing the attention, and which video is really good at holding them after getting the attention, right? So these two metrics are really good to understand the effectiveness of your creative, and maybe come up with great ideas like, okay, from this video the whole rate was great, it means that the later part of the video was really good, so we should use the later part of this video. And then maybe from another video the hook was really good because the hook rate was really good, so you can use the hook of that video. So with this you can analyze your creatives in a much better way. Okay, now after this we have link clicks. Okay, as the name suggests, it basically means how many clicks you got, like how many people have clicked on uh, your ad basically to come to your website. Till now you see like all these metrics that we have seen so far, they are pre-click metrics, like everything that is happening on Facebook or Meta site, right? And these are, like I would say, your top of the funnel metrics, right? The first part of your funnel, which is ads, from where the cold prospect, people who have never seen your product or store before, they are doing some actions, and we want to grab and analyze their action, and these metrics basically help us doing that. Okay, so yeah, this is, we have like link clicks, then CPC, which is cost per link click. Okay, so I would say like CPC is the key performance pre-click phase metric. As the name suggests, it's basically the cost that you're paying for a click, but is actually determined by two different factors, like two different metric actually. After we analyze hook rate and hold rate, the next important metric is CTR. Okay, so we'll search for it, CTR. This is the one we have to select, CTR, link click through rate, and we will place it just after hold rate. So what CTR is, it's again a percentage of how many people have actually clicked on your ad out of the total impressions, right? So you can basically determine it as an effectiveness of your ad to make people click on your ad and come to your website. Okay, so let's say if your CTR is 2, which means that CTR is 2%, right? So it's a percentage, which means that out of 100 people, 2 people actually clicked on your ad and come to the website. Or I would say out of 100 impressions, out of that, two basically two impressions, you can say, people have taken action and basically visited your website or clicked on the link. Okay, so this determines the effectiveness of your ads. So one of the most important metric, I would say again. And yeah, after this we have link clicks. So it's the total amount of clicks that people have clicked, right? And they basically visit to your website. So that is the next metric, link clicks. You can search for it. And then the next metric is CPC, which is cost per link click. Okay, so CPC is actually an outcome of CPM and CTR. Okay, so CPC is again like it's cost per link click. It means that how much you're paying for each click, right? So let's say if CPC is $1, it means that you're paying $1 for one click to your website. Okay. So again, as I mentioned, that it's an outcome of your CPM and CTR. Why is it so? So let me give you an example. So let's say your CPM is $10, meaning that you are paying $10 for every 1,000 impressions, right? As we discussed, CPM is the amount that you're paying for 1,000 impressions. So let's say your CPM is $10, meaning that you're paying $10 for every 1,000 impressions. And your CTR, let's say, is 2%, meaning that for every 100 impressions or every 100 people that see your ad, two of them click, right? This would mean that for every 1,000 impressions, you'll get 20 clicks, right? So for 20 clicks, you have paid $10, right? Because CPM is $10. Okay. So for one click, you paid 50 cents or $0.5, right? So that's how CPC works. CPC is an outcome of CPM and CTR. You can easily calculate it. But yeah, this is the metric you can easily have inside of your columns, right? And then till now, all the metrics that we have seen so far are our pre-click metrics, right? That determines how effective our ads are working. Now, let's jump to our website related metrics. So first of all is content views. So what you have to do is search for content views. Okay. You have to select total content views, and then the next column is cost per content views. So you have to select cost per content views. Okay. So what is content views? It's basically the event that fires on your product pages, right? The link that you mention inside your ad account or your ad level. Okay. So every time someone click on that particular link and visit your same product page, right, that is counted as content view. Okay. So the total number of content view, you must be thinking, okay, it should be very similar to the number of link clicks, right? The people who have clicked on the link should be same as people who have visited or landed to your same page, right? But sometime some people bounce from your website because maybe of high loading speed, right? Your page is taking a lot of time to load, right? So that can be one of the reason that people bounce back from your website and they never visit your website. So ideally the content view count is less than link click. Okay. So that is again an important factor to see how many visitors you are actually getting on your store. The next is cost per content view. Again, very simple metric like how much you're paying for one content view. Next, other important metrics that we have to focus on are related to higher intent actions. For example, add to cart. So we'll search for add to cart, and here we will add to cart total, right? And cost per add to cart. Okay. Please make sure that you unselect this options and then place it above. Perfect. Okay. And then the next action is initiate checkout. Checkout initiated here. Total. And then again, we'll place it just after add to cart, right? Perfect. So this is it. And then the next one would be purchase. But yeah, the add to cart, cost per add to cart, and checkout initiated and cost per checkout initiated, they represent the number of time each of these actions took place on your website, as well as the cost for each of them. Pretty simple, right? So yeah. And then we will focus on some of the most important metrics, right? So let's see. The next one is purchases, right? So we'll see total purchase, right? And then we'll see cost per purchase, okay? And then purchase conversion value, which is this one, okay? So let's see. We will remove this, okay? And we will place it just after checkout. Perfect. So yeah, purchases basically mean how many purchases as a count, how many purchases you get on your store. Like for example, if you got 3 purchases, it will show 3. Okay, cost per purchase. It means that for one purchase, how much you paid, right? How much you spent, basically. And then purchase conversion value means basically the sales amount revenue that you got from those purchases. Okay, so that is purchases conversion value. After that, we have some other important columns like amount spent, which is already there, right? You can have this as well. And then we have one of the most important thing, which is ROAS, purchase ROAS. We will select here total ROAS. So the ROAS, or a return on ad spend, is the most important key performing indicator of all your metrics, right? It measures how much money you have made back per dollar spent on ads. So for example, if your current ROAS is, let's say, 2, okay, it means that you have made $2 back for each dollar you spent. Okay, so let's say if your ROAS is 1.7, it means that you have spent $1 and you got $1.7 back. Okay, so it basically determines, okay, how much profitable you are if you know your break even ROAS as well. So break even ROAS is something that we have discussed earlier. But yeah, if your current ROAS is above your break even ROAS, it means that you're profitable, right? And if it is less than your break even ROAS, it means that you are at loss. So that is why it is the most important key performance indicator, right? So yeah, these are the columns that we normally recommend. Then other some other columns that you can set up are engagement rate ranking, quality ranking, conversion rate ranking. All these column basically determines the quality of your ad. Okay, how good they are in terms of engagement, how good they are in terms of quality, right? How good the quality of your content is. Okay, then conversion rate, like how good your ads are in terms of getting the actual customers if you're going with the purchase objective, right? So yeah, these are the columns that we normally set up to check the key performing indicators, the most important metrics for our whole funnel, like ads, website, everything. So our testing structure would be something like this. We'll go with an ABO setup. Inside of that, we will have 5 ad set. Each ad set will be targeting a single interest. Okay. And for the budget, we have this type of structure. If your selling price is under $30, you can start off with $5 per day budget of each ad set. If your product is in the range of 30 to 60, and this is basically the selling price, then you can set the budget for $10 per day. If your product is of $60 or above, then we recommend a price of $15 per day. With this, you are allowing Facebook to find the right customer for you, because here you see, depending on the price, the cost per acquisition will be higher, which means that you need to pay more to get a single customer compared to a lower price product. That is why we have different pricing structure over here. Okay, and then for each ad set, we recommend that you should go with a minimum of 3 creatives. Okay, and you can have like image ads, you can have video ads, but yeah, at least minimum we recommend to have 3 creatives inside of one ad set. Okay, now let's see how we can create it. We will click on this button, create, and then we will see that we have multiple campaign objective. We'll choose sales because the main objective for us is to drive sales. Then we will click on continue. Initially, you should always go with manual sales campaign. Once you are here, you should scroll down. You will see that advantage campaign budget. This is what we were talking about, a CBO campaign. So if you turn it on, then it will ask you to set a budget at the campaign level. But right now we are testing, so we don't want that. We'll turn it off. Okay. You can name it something like, you have your product name here, and then audience testing campaign. And then we will go inside our first ad set. This is the place where you set all the targeting that you want. Okay. So first thing first, I would say again, here you mention. So this is the ideal naming structure of any ad set. You start off with the date, and then the audience that you're targeting, then the country that you're targeting, and then placement. We'll cover them one by one what these are. So firstly, we'll focus on this box, which is conversion, and let's see what are the information that we have to add here. So first of all, you should select website. Then in the performance goal, it should be maximize number of conversions. Then pixel, you should select the right pixel that is connected with your Shopify store. We covered this in our previous part. And then the conversion event, you should ideally go with purchase event because that is the objective that we are looking for. I would highly recommend that you should not go with any other objective, whatever other recommend, because See, we have tested this multiple times and purchase objective always works better. Why? Because there are inside of Facebook, there are different type of people who have, let's say, low intent versus people who have higher intent or have shown purchase behavior before. So Facebook already know people who are going to buy products from your website, and it has categorized audience on the basis of this. If you select anything other than purchase event, then there are chances that you will get low intent audience. Like, for example, if you go with add to cart objective, okay, or maybe initiate checkout, or maybe traffic, what will happen is that you will be able to see that event happening but not purchase. Okay, for example, if you go, let's say you go with add to cart. Okay, so if you go with the add to cart event, then what you will notice is that you will see a lot of add to cart happening but not purchases. Why? Because the intent is not that high for the purchase. Okay, if you go for the purchase only, then you will see purchase. Okay, the next part is if you see this type of warning, I would say, like, if it shows that you need to choose other conversion event, then you can ignore that warning. But if you know that you have set up the conversion properly, then I think you can ignore this part and just move to the next section. The next part we will focus on is budget and schedule. And by the way, dynamic creative, we have to turn it off for the testing phase. Then in budget and schedule, we'll start off with $10 for now. And in this, I'll apply the rule, okay, that my product is in the range from $30 to $60. If your product is less than $30, you should go with $5. Okay. So if my product, let's say, is of selling price $29.99, I would go with $5. Okay. But if my product is in the range of, so if my product is in the range from 30 to 60, I'll go with the $10. Okay. Start date. I would highly recommend you to go with the next date and midnight time, because when you set up the time as per the midnight time of your ad account for the next day, it will spend accordingly and it will distribute the budget accordingly. Let's say if you go with any other time, let's say 11 p.m. or maybe 10 p.m., what will happen is that the spending will be abrupt and it will not distribute the budget accordingly. It may spend all the money within the 2-3 hours. So it's important that you set up the timing properly so that Facebook can analyze and find the right time for you and distribute the budget accordingly. Okay, and you can ignore this. Then locations, you can click on edit. Here, I would recommend that you target the top 4 or top 5 countries. For example, United States, you can go with Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and United Kingdom. And the next section is advantage plus audience. What you have to do is you have to click on switch to original audience option, because we want to find the best interest, possible interest for us. Once you click on that, you will see this box audience, and then you just have to scroll down. Here we have option of selecting the age. I would recommend going with this age group, 18 to 65 plus. Gender, you should select all, unless you know that your product is targeting to a specific gender, right? So then detailed targeting. This is the place where we'll try to target people who are likely going to buy our product. So for interest targeting, it is important that you understand what interest that you should go for right from the start. I would recommend, if you can think of any broad interest that is related to your product, you can go with it. Also, just a tip, the interest that you can go for, it can be something that your target audience like. So you should think of like what your product is related to, what audience it is catering, and that audience, what they like, what type of shows they like, what brand they like. Okay, and then you can use those brand, because ideally if you go with that particular interest, there are high chances that your audience is there. So we have to find the interest where our audience is, and the chances are, if you go with brands they like, if you go with TV shows they go for, or magazines, or any celebrity they go for, or anything that is related with the product, you can basically use those interests. Another thing that you should go for is you should use interests that are of like 10 million plus size, because especially in 2024, Facebook actually recommends to go with broader interests. It has removed most of the interests that were there in 2022 or even 2021. Facebook has removed many interests, and now it is focusing on broader interest. So first of all, in this example, I'm going to use this product. It's a magic mat. You may have seen this product before. So for this product, I would personally go with something related to cleaning or maths, right? So I will again go here and I'll search for cleaning, like a clean, and then let's see what we can see over here. You see clean house, this is a good interest. Let's see what I can find more. Cleaning, yeah, I can go with this. Carpet cleaning, this looks good. I would probably go with this one. Okay, so you can see the audience size is 13 million, which is really good. You can even go as broad as 30 million, 50 million, or even 100 million. Okay, the broader that you can go into your interest, or like you can choose those interests that have broad targeting, that will be great. Okay, so once this is done, we only have to select one interest inside of one ad set. Next, in the placement, you should go with Advantage Plus placement. With this, Facebook will automatically find the best placement for you. Okay, so what placement is? So if you know Facebook feeds, stories, and maybe messenger placement, okay, and then reels, all these are placement where your ad is shown. So if you go with manual placement, it means that you are restricting Facebook to try out other placements. So for example, if I click over here, you will see all the possible placement: Facebook feeds, Instagram feed, and let's say you select only Facebook feed and Instagram feed. It means that you are removing all the other possible options, and this is something Facebook don't recommend now. Okay, so you should ideally go with Advantage Plus placement. So once you select this, your ad set setting is done. Okay, now let's jump inside of our ad section. So let's understand what are the settings that you have to add inside of ad level. First of all, you should name your ad properly. Okay, it should be something related with your video. Okay, so in this case, I'm just going with the video name. Let's say video one. But if you know, okay, this video is focusing on this particular angle, or it is describing about this, so you can basically name according to that. Okay, so that is video one for me. Then the next part is that you have to select the correct page that you created. Okay, this page will actually show your ads. Okay, so it's not like from your personal profile you are showing your ads. That's why we created the page. Okay, so we will be using the exact page that we created over here. And then if you've created your Instagram account for your Shopify website, for your brand, for your store, then you can use that Instagram account. Otherwise, even with Facebook page, you can advertise and show your ads inside Instagram. Okay, once you do that, then the next part is here you should select create ad. Okay, then click on manual upload, because we are going to upload videos or image, and then go with single image or video. Then you can let this turn on, and then for now, let me just quickly show you. What I will do is in add media, I will click on add video, because I have a video ad. Click on video one. So you can upload video from your computer using this button, upload. Because I've already uploaded, I will click over here and then click on next. I don't need to trim the video, but in case if you want to trim it, then you can basically cut that part. Okay, and then it will show you if the dimensions are fine. This is fine. Then I will click on next. Also, I would recommend the sizing for the video should be either 4:5, or you can go with the reel style or the TikTok style videos. That is 9:16. Okay, that's the ratio that we ideally recommend. But for most of the products, I would go with 4:5 dimension, because it serves for the Facebook feed and Instagram feed. So once this is done, we'll click on done, and this will be uploaded. Okay, so for now you can ignore these signs, because most of the time it will show to most of the placements. The video is 4:5. Okay, so once this is done, then these are the main areas: primary text, headline, description, and call to action button. So this is what we call as ad copy. So in the primary text, what do you have to do? So here is a sample for primary text, like a template. Okay, normally for a simple primary text structure, we go with the first line should be like a bold, either a bold claim, a benefit driven headline, question to your direct audience mentioning their pain point. This could be a template that you can use. Another small template is like you can start off with struggling with, and inside of this you can mention the customer pain point, and then we've got the solution. Say hello to product name, your answer to the problem. Okay, then after that you can have benefit 1, benefit 2, benefit 3, like a checkpoints, and then you can mention an exclusive offer that you're providing For example, let's say you on your site you have 50% off. You have mentioned 50% off or 35% off. Okay. So you can use that and then say limited time only. After that, you have like shop now, and then here should be your website link. Okay. This is the ideal copy. Okay. So for this product, which is the Magic Mat, this is an ideal copy. Keep your bathroom floor clean, try and save with Magic Mat. Okay. So here we are using the benefit driven line, which is related directly with what our product is solving. Okay. So that is one thing. And then we have some benefit point, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have offer, and then ending it with shop now and the website link. Okay. So I'm going to use this. I'm copying this. I'll paste this inside over here. So you see where this primary text is shown. Most of the time, your first 2 lines are very important and crucial. So it's important that you grab customers' attention within this first 1 to 2 line. And how you can grab their attention? By using bold claims, headlines, or questioning directly to your ideal customers. Okay. So this is what you can use for the first 1, 2 lines, and then you can have benefit points as well. Sometime you can even go with short form ad copies, where you have maybe instead of 4 benefits or 5 benefits, you can have 2 benefits only, and then 1 line at the top, and then you can have shop now. Here you can mention your website. Like for example, I say like this. And as you can see, Facebook is providing me some great options as well using AI. So as you can see, they've also suggested me some great options. So this is something that you can take benefit from and use these as well if you feel that these are really good variations. Okay. But I would recommend for the testing phase, you just go with one ad copy. Okay. Then for the headline is one of the most important and crucial part of your ad, because this is visible directly to your customer. Here, you should focus on either an offer or something related to trust factor. Okay. So it should be a trust or offer. So trust means like you can focus on something like 1,000 plus happy customers, or let's say you can talk about something around, let's say 4.8 out of 5 reviews. So this is what trust is. Or offer could be something like, okay, get free shipping, or maybe something like, okay, buy one get one free. So because this is what customer look for, they either look for offer or they look for whether they can trust the brand or not. Okay. So headline is one of the most crucial thing that they check, and it's easily visible. So that's why it's important that you either use a trust factor or offer in your headline. Okay. So here what I'll do is I'm copying this, but I would just copy this part. I would use something like this. This is a trust factor, and then description, it's a very small space just after the headline, and I would go with something like this. It can be again an offer or a scarcity, like limited time only, or get yours today, something like this. Okay. So I would go with this. Then the next part is for call to action, you should ideally go with shop now. The most important area here is destination. Here you paste your website link. Okay. And by website link, I mean the product page, not your home page, because product page is the place where our product information is mentioned. Okay. So focusing on product page and sending the traffic to product page is more important. So customer, after watching this video, they'll click on shop now button and they will land directly to my product page rather than any other page. Okay. And the next important part is tracking section. Okay. Over here, what you have to do is you have to set URL parameters. Why? Because after the iOS update, it's really hard to track information, what's happening on your website. It's hard for Facebook to track everything because of the privacy issues, right? So with this setup, what you can do is you can add, or I would say embed, some sort of information related to your campaign ad sets, so that when someone visits to your website, all these information are passed, and Shopify can get information about the ad set from which the customer is coming from which campaign the customer is coming from, and other informations as well. To set it up, what we will do is we'll click on build a URL parameter. In the campaign source, we'll say Facebook. In the campaign medium, we'll select campaign name. In the campaign name, we can select ad set name, and in the content, we can select ad name. So you may think like why we are using ad set name inside of campaign name. What we are doing here is we are just passing down the information about campaign name, ad set name, and ad name. You can use other URL parameters as well. Like you can click on add parameter and add more options, like UTM term is something people use. But what the main goal is that we have to pass the information related to campaign name, ad set name, and ad name back to Shopify. And that is why we have added this information. So this is the link. You can see UTM source Facebook, UTM medium here. We'll click on apply. And with this, what will happen is that all these options are basically embedded along with your URL. When someone clicks on shop now button, all this information related to the ad name, ad set name, and video name will go along with that. Okay. So basically, this is about your video or like your ad setup. Now, what we have to do is, as we mentioned in our structure, that we'll be using three creatives, like three ads, right? So here there is video one. So what I'll do is I'll click on these three buttons, right? Three toggle option, and then I'll click on duplicate and I'll duplicate it 2 more times. And then I'll say like video 2 and video 3. Okay. So here what we have to do is we just have to change the media. Okay. So we'll go to the add creative section, click on edit media. We have to click on change video. And with this, we'll select the second video we have. You can even use image ads for it. Then we'll click on next, and that should basically do the job for us. We'll keep the ad copy, primary text, and everything as same as before. And for video 3, again, we will just go down, and here in the add creative part, we'll click on change video and we'll click on video 3. So yeah, at the ad level, everything is done. I'm just going to change some information over here. So date would be the date we are launching it. So here it's 27th of November. So I'll select this. Audience, will replace it with the interest that we are going with. So carpet cleaning it is. Countries that we are targeting, we will replace it with top 5. And placement is Advantage Plus. Here as well, I'll replace this with Magic Mat. And now you can see our first campaign with first ad set and video combination or ad setup is done. And here what we will do is we will click on publish. Once you click on publish, your first campaign and first ad set is done. Okay. But before publishing this, I would recommend you that we have to create 4 more ad set. Okay. Because in our testing setup, we mentioned that we will start with 5 ad sets. Okay. So we will click on duplicate. This should be ticked. And then we'll click on 4 so that we can have 4 more copies, right? And all these 4 copies that you see, 1, 2, 3, 4. In this, we'll change only one thing, and that will be the interest. So we'll go down, and here in the audience section, we'll just find some similar interest. We'll click on suggestions, and we will, let's say, go with cleaning. Okay, we'll click on cleaning, and we will remove the carpet cleaning, which was there earlier. Why? Because we want only one interest targeting. So here it should be only one interest. Okay. So this is selected, and now we will replace the name as well with cleaning, and we will remove it. You don't need to do anything else inside ad because the setup is already there. We just duplicated the first ad set, which was already having all the information. So we don't need to change anything. So we just need to change the interest. And then similarly for the other copy, right, we will just find some other interest related to this product. We can go with like, this looks good. Carpet, dust, mop. I would go with carpet. So yeah, in this as well, you don't need to think that much, okay, what interest that you should go for, which will be a winning interest, because ideally Facebook is recommending broad interest right now. So you don't need to do a lot of research to find interests that are highly related with your product, right? You can go with broad interests that are somewhat related with your product or your target audience and just go with it. Okay. So this is selected, and then same sort of thing we'll do here. We'll click on suggestion. I would probably go with mop. And the last one, we click on suggestion. You can click floor because I think it's related with the product. And so yeah, now we have one campaign, which is audience testing campaign, and ABO setup because we have set up budget at the ad set level. And then you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ad sets, and we have done the targeting properly. And inside of each ad set, we have 1, 2, 3 video ads. You can even go with image ads if you want to, keeping in mind that my product, let's say, is of $34.99. Okay. So it's above $30. That's why I have chosen $10 for daily budget. So in total, I'll be spending $50 maximum per day for this campaign. Now my proper audience testing campaign is done. And with this, my audience testing campaign is ready to launch. Okay. So this is how you can start off your audience testing campaign, and let's see how it goes. We'll follow some set of rules and we'll see how to apply them, how to go through them, and let's see them one by one. So rule number one, allow each ad set to spend the break even cost per purchase for the product or to run for 3 days, whichever comes later. So if you don't know what break even cost per purchase is, it's basically the margin. So for example, let's say you're getting your product from your supplier for $6 and the shipping price from your supplier to your US customer is another $4. So the total cost that you're going to pay to your supplier is 6 plus 4, which is $10. And let's say you're selling this product on your website for $40. So for you, the margins are 40 minus 10, which is $30. So this $30 is actually your break-even cost per purchase. So I've basically gone through this example. You can calculate your break-even cost per purchase as well with the same method. And what you have to do is, as per the rule number one, you have to allow your ad set to spend at least this much of amount. Okay. So let's say if your margins are $25, you need to let ad set run for at least $25 to let it spend that amount and provide some good data. If you turn it before than that, it means that you're not giving good room to test your ad set. Okay. Or you can let it run for 3 days as well if you feel that the margins are very less. For example, if your margins are under 20, I would recommend to at least let it run for 3 days. Otherwise, you're not giving good room to your ad sets. Okay. So that is first rule. But if you want to even check your data before than that, like less than 3 days, and you may want to cut some ads or ad set, here are some things that you can follow. So for example, let's say after 24 hours, you check at the ad set level and you go at the ad level. So the optimization that you can do in 24 hours or maybe 48 hours is that if you notice any ad, like see, we are at ads level. Okay. If you see any ad that has spent $10 and is giving you really bad cost per unique link click, which is CPC. Okay. So if any ad is giving you really terrible CPC, for example, like anything above 3.5 and has not given you add to cart or a purchase, you can turn it off, because ultimately it will not be sustainable to run that particular ad for a long time with that CPC. A CPC of 3.5 means that you're paying $3.5 to get one visitor on your website, which is not sustainable for a long run. Okay. Because the ideal industry standard is around $1 to $1.5. So you can turn off that particular ad and let other ads spend the amount. So you can use this optimization if you feel that 3 days are long and you're spending too much. But yeah, after rule one, the rule two is, once the rule one is complete, you need to check if an ad set has made at least a sale, then let it continue to run. What this means is, let's say you go at the ad set level, and in this, what you see is, as you see over here, there are 5 ad set. Let's say the carpet and mop and floor. These 3 ad set has given me one sale after my break even cost per purchase spent, which was $30 in my example. Okay. So let's say all these 3 have spent $30 each and they have given me one sale before they spend $30, or let's say they have spent exactly $30. So it means that they are either break even or profitable for me and they have given me sale. So I will let it run for another break even cost per purchase as per the rule 2. Okay. So we'll let it continue to run. The second thing is, if an ad set hasn't made a sale. So for example, let's say cleaning and carpet cleaning, these 2 ad sets have not given me sale after $30 spent. Okay. In this case, what I'll check is, if CPC is less than $1.5, I will let it run for another day. Okay. So let's say in this, cleaning ad set has not given me sale after spending $30, which is break even cost per purchase spent, but its CPC is under $1.5. Okay. Which is this one, cost per unique link click. If the CPC is less than $1.5, I will let it run for another day. Why? because it is showing some sort of good signs, but it has not given me a purchase. So I will let it run for another day. So maybe it can give me a purchase. Okay. But let's say the carpet cleaning ad set, it has spent break-even cost per purchase amount, which is $30, and its CPC is above 1.5, let's say 2 or 2.2. Okay, what we will do in that case, turn off any ad set that hasn't made a sale and has a CPC above 1.5 and replace it with a new ad set with a different interest. Okay, duplicate the one that you are going to turn off, change the interest, publish it, and turn off the old one. So for example, carpet cleaning is the ad set that has not given us any sale and its CPC is above 1.5. So what we will do is we have to replace this particular interest and we have to try a new interest. I would recommend that you should ideally duplicate the interest that has given you sale, because there are chances that that interest or suggestion interest can give us more winning interest. So what we will do is we will turn off this particular ad set and then we will click on duplicate, and then we will again just go over here. And then instead of using carpet, we are using suggestion of carpet. Why? Because we have to find new interest that can replace the poor performing interest. Okay. So for example, we can go with living room. That can be possible interest. We will remove this. The size is good, 115 million. We have this, and yeah. And we just have to click on publish so that this particular ad set will also go live. So you see over here that carpet cleaning is replaced by living room. And now we have a new interest, and that can be a potential winner for us. But yeah, this is all about testing things up and see which ad set gives us sale and become a winner ad set. Okay. So in this, we have checked rule 2 and this particular check. Now the newly created ad set should go through the same set of rules starting from rule 1. So this ad set, which is the living room, which we just created, it should again go from the rule 1. Okay. Now the next rule is if an ad set survived rule 2 with no sales and does not make a sale within the next 24 hours of clearing rule 2, turn it off and replace it with a new one by following the same method as applied in rule 2 for ad sets that were turned off. So as I mentioned earlier, we consider this particular cleaning ad set has not given us a sale, but the CPC was 1.5 and less than 1.5 actually. So what we did was that we said, okay, we will give it one more day to see if it gives us a sale or not. But let's say if it does not give us any sale, we will just turn it off and replace it with a new ad set in a very similar way that we did for this particular one. So again, we will just click on the winning ad set or the ad set that has given a sale, and we will find suggestion interest and we will turn this one off. So let me do that quickly again. So let's say the carpet, floor and mop has given a sale. So again, let's say we duplicate the mop one and then we go at the interest section, click on suggestion. Let's go with flooring. Its size is 36 million, which is a decent size. And then we go over here, we replace it and then click on publish. Remember to check date of launch of these ad set. Because we have created new one, we will turn off the one that has not given us any sale even after 24 hours of launching. Now, rule 4. If an ad set has cleared rule 2 and rule 3, then it should be allowed to spend an amount equal to double the break-even cost per purchase for the product. By the time that this amount is spent, it should be at break-even ROAS or above break-even ROAS. By that, if by the time of spending 2 times of break-even cost per purchase, the ad set is not at break-even or above, turn it off and replace it by applying the same method that is described in rule 2. So for example here, the ad sets like carpet, floor, mop, these 3 ad set has given us 1 sale. What we will do is we'll let it spend for 2 times of our break-even cost per purchase. So our break-even cost per purchase was 30. So we'll let it spend $60 in total for these 3 ad set. I mean $60 additional, okay, not the initial $30. Okay, additional $60 we'll let it spend, and we will see if the ROAS of these ad sets are above break-even ROAS. Okay, I'm sure that you guys know about break-even ROAS, but if you don't, then you can use this website. You can go to ecommercementoring.com and go to tools. Here you can enter your COGS value. So let's say your product cost and shipping cost is $10 and your selling price is 40. So your break-even ROAS is 1.3. Okay. And then as we checked, okay, mop, floor, carpet, these three ad set have given us one sale each. So we let it spend another $60 each, okay, which is two times of our break even cost per purchase amount. Okay. And then we check their purchase ROAS. So after another two times of break even cost per purchase spent, if the purchase ROAS is less than our break even ROAS, which is 1.3. So let's say carpet has given us a ROAS of 1.2, floor has given us a ROAS of 1.6, and let's say mop has given us a ROAS of 2. So in this case, carpet has given us a ROAS of 1.2 even after spending an additional $60. It means that it is not profitable for us in a long run, so we'll turn it off. Okay. And because floor has a purchase ROAS of above our break even ROAS, and same for mop, we'll consider these two ad set as our winning ad sets. Okay. So yeah, this is about this rule 4. Okay. You guys can pause the screen and basically read it again. Next is safety rule. If after running ads for 3 to 4 days you have no sales across the entire campaign, stop the campaign and do troubleshooting. Okay. So after 3 to 4 days of running your ads, you have no sales at all, then it is primarily because either number one, your ads are not good enough, their CTR is bad. It means that the audience is not liking it. Maybe your product is the issue, or probably it can be your website as well. Your website is not converting. Maybe the offer is really bad. People feel that, okay, the product is expensive. So you need to make a lucrative offers like buy one, get one free, or maybe like buy two, get 50% off, or something like buy one, get 20% off, buy two, get 40% off. So this is bundle offers that you can try off. But yeah, you have to make your offer really good enough so that people feel like, okay, this is an irresistible offer. So these are the some of things that you can definitely test. Also check your website shipping prices and also payment processor and see if your checkout is working properly or not. First of all, let's check when to start scaling. So once you find a few ad sets that clear rule 4 profitably, rule 4 that we just covered, okay, so we have to find few ad sets that clear rule 4 profitably. You should let them run until they make 7 purchases or 6 plus purchases, right? Profitably, okay, staying above their break even ROAS. Or any ad set that is running for more than 4 days, and in the last 4 days the ROAS is profitable with 6 plus sales, you can scale it. So this is the rule for initial scaling, like when you are at your testing phase and now you are shifting to the scaling phase, or in between as well. If you find any ad set that is profitable from last 4 days and has given you 6 plus purchases, you can scale it. Okay, so let's see different scaling strategies. So we have few strategies for scaling, which we will be implementing in the following order. You can implement a strategy before the other, but these are the strategies that we go for, and we call it as level 2 scaling. The first one is scaling with CBO campaigns. So in this, if CBO works for you, use it to scale up your best audiences and creatives. The system automation efficiently allocate your budget for optimal results. But you can also try ABO setup if CBO is not working on your account. Okay. So in the CBO method, as you know, like it's campaign budget optimization. It means that you assign budget at the campaign level and Facebook will decide where to spend the budget, on which ad set it has to spend more depending on the performance. So in this, you are providing control to Facebook totally. Before in the testing campaign, what we did was like we assigned budget at the ad set level in which we were controlling the budget. And we are telling Facebook, okay, you have to spend this much amount of money into this particular ad set only. But here what we are doing is we're telling Facebook, okay, you have the liberty to spend on ad set that is working the best. Okay. And in this way, what Facebook will do is Facebook will basically invest the money into the best pocket of audience. Okay. So it's important to understand the pocket concept as well. Pockets is the audience that Facebook is currently targeting with a particular ad set. Okay. We'll see how we can do this. Okay. The next one is audience testing campaign. Okay. Right now we have this audience testing campaign already. So what we are doing in this scaling strategy is we will be doing horizontal scaling with audience testing campaign. So in this, what we will be doing is we will be testing more interest. Right now, we may have tested 5 to 10 possible interests. And so far, we may have found out, let's say, 2 or 3 or more winning interest for us. Okay. But the goal is to constantly find new winning interest or audiences, or I would say like more winning pockets for us. So in this, you can find out different interest targeting. You can even try lookalike audiences, which we will cover later. So LLAs, you can basically test. LLAs should be tested after you have accumulated around 150 to 200 purchases, as this data helps Facebook to find similar potential customers. So the next one is retargeting campaigns. In this, what we will do is we will implement retargeting either through ABO or CBO, depending on which works best for our account. Okay, a good rule of thumb is to allocate about $10 per ad set or 10% of your budget for middle of the funnel or bottom of the funnel audience, especially after reaching about 100 purchases. What middle of funnel audience or bottom of funnel audience is? So middle of funnel audience is the one that have basically shown some sort of engagement but has not done high intent activities like add to cart, initiate checkout, or purchase. So they have done activities like maybe engagement with your ads, they may have liked your post or commented on it, and may have visited your website. Versus bottom of funnel audiences are the warm audiences. They have taken higher intent actions. For example, like add to cart, initiate checkout, or maybe purchases. Okay. So we are going to target these customers through retargeting campaigns, because most of the time when you start running your ads, you're targeting the cold audience, and then there are many customers who don't purchase from us, but they do some sort of action on our website or maybe on our ads. So what we want is we want to retarget them using retargeting campaigns. And then the next one is creative testing campaign. We will use this campaign to test new ad creatives. In this, we'll pair these creative with the best performing audiences to see which combination resonate the most. Okay, so let's start with scaling with CBO campaigns. So CBO campaigns, or campaign budget optimization, is a powerful tool within Facebook ads, especially when your objective is to drive sales. It allows Facebook to allocate your campaign budget across different ad sets to achieve the best results. So let's see how you can create a CBO campaign for scaling. So to create a CBO campaign, firstly, we should know the winning audience or winning ad set inside of our testing campaign. So in this, you see like we have created this campaign and it was running. And then now we will see like how we can scale with CBO campaign. So let's say this audience mob is the winning audience for our Magic Mat product. Okay. So what we will do is we will use this ad set to create our new CBO campaign. What we will do is we'll click on duplicate and then create new campaign. We'll use this. And now we'll name this campaign as CBO, then audience name, which is mob, and then scale. Okay. Second part is we have to add 4 copies instead of 1 copy inside of it. So we'll click on 4 and then we'll click on duplicate. Here you will see that what we are doing is we are using our winning audience only inside of our CBO campaign. So you see the CBO campaign is here, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 ad sets. Okay. And inside of this ad set, we are having the same video ads again. Why we are doing this? Because in our testing campaign, we have found out that this was the winning audience for us. And the winning audience means that this particular interest. And also the creatives were the one that has given us sale. So we'll probably use the same combination. And why we have 4 ad set instead of like 1 only, and why it is the same audience? Because we are trying to hit different pockets inside the same audience. So as you see, like for this audience mob, the size is 3.9 million. So what we are trying to do here is that we will target different pockets of audience inside the same audience. Okay. And in this, what CBO will do is the CBO campaign will allocate the budget in that particular ad set that basically hits the right pocket on a particular day. So what we will do is we'll click over here. We'll name it as 1, and probably we'll click on all 4 so that we can change the dates. So if you click on shift and select the last ad set, it will basically change everything inside of all the ad sets. So if you want to change it to the next date, you can change it like this, and then you can set the budget, but we are not going to set budget over here because it's a campaign budget optimization campaign. Okay. So everything else should be the same. We will go at the campaign level, and here what we will do is we'll go to advantage budget campaign option. So Meta has changed the name of CBO campaign, which is campaign budget optimization, to advantage campaign budget. So we'll turn this one on, and I would recommend a minimum budget of at least $50. In this way, you're giving room for Facebook to spend budget in these 4 ad set and find out the best ad set or the best pocket for us and spend in that direction. Okay. Now we'll just name it so that we can identify each ad set. Perfect. So you see, like, this is the proper structure of your CBO campaign. You have this campaign, this is the name, and here you have advantage campaign budget, daily budget at $50. And then inside of this, we have our winning interest. Okay, MOP. And then the names are here. At the ad level, you don't need to change anything because it was our winning combination, and we'll go with this only. Once this is done, you just have to click on publish. And this is how you can create your first CBO scaling campaign. How you can scale it, if it is profitable on the very first day, I would say like you can increase it by 20% after every 48 hours. And this is something that you can do if it's consistently profitable. And by profitable, it means that if it is anything above your break-even ROAS, then you can increase its budget after every 48 hours. You can increase it by 20% because that's the safe range. Okay, that is one thing that you can do. The next one is audience testing campaign, which is test different audiences like interest targeting. So I'll focus on this one first. So in this, what we do is we are trying to do horizontal scaling, in which we are trying to find out different interests apart from these that we were testing before, so that we can find out different pockets and possible interests that we can scale later. So let's say this audience MOP, again, it has given us 6+ purchases. So possibly this is a good audience for us. And what we want is we want to find out more possible interest that can be winner. Okay, so I'll click on duplicate and maybe try to find out 2 new interests that can be profitable for us. And how we can do that is basically by testing. So one by one, I'll go with one ad set and then I'll scroll down. I'll come to this area, which is detailed targeting. I'll click on suggestion. Then I'll find out something very similar to MOP. Okay, I may go with home appliances. The audience size is good. Please ensure that the launch time should be correct. Okay, so over here, it should be for the next day at 12 a.m. so that it's spent accordingly. Okay, budget 10 is fine. Change the name over here. It should be home appliances. This is done. And then the next one here as well, we'll try to find out some suggestion interest. I can go with even vacuum cleaner, and then that's pretty much it. And yeah, we have 2 new ad sets, and I will click on publish on both the ad sets so that they get published. And in this way, you see home appliances and vacuum cleaner are the new ad sets that we launched, and we are trying to horizontally scale. So possibly in the next 3 days, they are profitable and we can scale them with CBO campaigns as well. Okay, so this is one way. The other way is to increase the budget of your winning ad sets. So let's say MOP is doing really well. So you can gradually increase this budget from $10 to $20, even to higher budget as well. If it is like 3 ROAS or 3+ ROAS, which is highly profitable. And in that case, you can increase the budget or you can double down the budget as well. Okay. Or you can also do like duplicate the same MOP ad set and you just have a higher budget. For example, like I duplicate it. Instead of this, I will say MOP audience, but with a $50 launch. So this is how I am horizontally scaling the same audience or finding a different pocket.
Now let's create our first retargeting campaign. With retargeting campaign, we are going to target all those customers and people who have interacted and shown interest on our ads and maybe visited our website as well. So first of all, what we have to do is we have to create custom audiences before we create our first retargeting campaign. And to do that, what you have to do is basically click on all tools. Over here, you will see audiences. Go to audiences. Once you click on this page will appear. Over here, you can go to create audience, click on here. Over here, you see custom audiences. So now let's understand what are different type of custom audiences. So the number one is people who have just viewed your ads. So for example, they have watched 25% of your video if it is a video ad. So you can click on this, click on next. Over here, you can select these options. So for example, normally we go with people who have watched at least 25% of the video. So you can click on this, for example. And now what you have to do is click on choose videos. With this, you will be able to choose all the videos that you have basically run ads for. And by this, you are telling Facebook to find out all the people who have interacted with your videos, video ads, and have watched at least 25% of the videos. So you can see these are the ads that I have run before. And I will select all the videos that are run particularly for that product. So for example, if I select multiple videos over here, so I will select on this. So I'll select multiple videos over here. As you can see, I have selected some of the videos from the list. And once you do that, you click on confirm. After that, what you have to do is select retention videos. It means like, for example, last 7 days, last 14 days, like people who have interacted. For example, if I select 7 days, it means it will give us audiences and people who have interacted with our video in the last 7 days. If I select 14 days over here, it means that basically people who have interacted and watched at least 25% of video ads in the last 12 days. Normally I go with 14 to 30 day window period so that it has good amount of data. And how you name it, you can name it something like product. So you can name it as product. And then I normally name it as MOF, which stands for middle of the funnel, because this part or this audience are, I would say that they have interacted with our ads and they have watched our ads. So they comes to the middle of the funnel part of our whole funnel. So if you can understand this thing, like people who have interacted our ads and basically have shown interest through our ads and clicked on our ads, they comes into the middle of the funnel part. And people who have done high intent action, for example, add to cart, and they have basically initiated checkout and purchase, they come into the bottom of the funnel. So I'm naming it as MOF, and then you can basically name it as 25% plus video views, and for last 30 days, 30D. And that's how you can click on create. And that's how basically it can create the new audience for you. So as you can see, it has created a new audience for me. And that's how similarly you can create 75% plus video views, 95% plus video views. So basically that's how you can create video views custom audience for you. Now let's focus on next type of audience. For example, they are called as Facebook engagers or Instagram engagers. So let's take an example of Facebook page engagers. So what it means that people who have interacted with your page, and by interaction, it means that people who have liked your videos or your ads, commented on your post, and maybe engaged with your page, like for example, following your page. So all those activities come into the engagement over your page. Similarly, over here, you can select the window size. It can be 7 days, 14 days, and 30 days as well. Let's go with 30 days for now. And similarly, you can name it according. So you can name it similarly like this, product, then again MOF, then basically saying FB engagement and last 30 days. So that's how you can create another audience. Similarly, you can do it for the Instagram account, and the same thing you can follow. So basically people who have interacted over your Instagram ads and basically who have engaged with your account, Instagram account. Similarly, you can create audience for Instagram accounts as well. And basically you can do this by clicking on Instagram account, following the exact same procedure, and you will find out all the audiences that have interacted over your Instagram page and basically like your Instagram ads and all. So you can do this by this option and you can do it. Similarly, you can create audiences based on the bottom of the funnel or also like website visitors. So these are called as your pixel events, because pixel is the one that can track your add to cart, your website visitors and your purchases and all. So you can click on website, and on here basically when you click next, over here you will see if you have pixel connected, you can easily find out events like add to cart, for example purchase event, and also events like your website visitors, your initiate checkout. So all those events you can easily create by clicking on website, and there you can find out all the options. So once you have created that, you can go to again ads manager, and here what we'll do, we'll create an ABO campaign that will basically include our different ad set in which we'll target all these type of audiences. So let's do this. We'll click on create. We'll again select the option sales. We'll click on next, click on manual. Over here, we can name it like this, product, click on retargeting, and then we can have ABO, and then we'll go to ad level. Now what we have to do, we have to select one audiences that we have created, one custom audience. For example, let's say we are going with 25% video view audience that we want to retarget. So we'll select this thing, middle of the funnel, 25% plus video views. And I guess that should be it. You can start off with smaller budget for retargeting audience because the audience is really small, so you don't need higher budget to target them. So you can even start with $10 or $15. You can select the date again next day at midnight. Once you have done that, this is the portion where you select your custom audience that you have created. So over here, you can find out the audience we have to select. For example, product, MOF, 25% video views, 30 days. So when you select this option over here, you have to also keep in mind that you remove all the purchasers or anyone who has visited your website, because you are specifically targeting people only who have taken action as this one, which is 25% plus video views. You don't want to target people who have visited your website, so that's why you will exclude them, because we are going to target people who have visited on our website separately by different ad set. So that's why we are excluding that particular audience. And you can select the countries, you're targeting countries over here, for example. And for example, you can select your targeting countries extra over here, but I don't think that you need any sort of extra details because you have already provided the custom audience over here. So you don't need to put other details in this. Now coming to the important part, which is the ad. So for this, a specific type of ad works very well. I would say like you should go with UGC type of image ads, or you can go with videos of testimonials, because these are the audience which have already seen your current winning creatives and they have already seen your product, but they may have some doubt regarding the offer or maybe the trust. So to do that, what you can do is provide UGC content or UGC images, and along with that you can add certain offer, let's say 10% off, 20% off. All those things work really well. So that's how you can do it. So once you have that, similarly you can create ad set for each custom audiences that we have created so that we can retarget them. So for example, if I click on duplicate, then I'll come over here. So instead of this audience, now I'm going to target people who have engaged with my Facebook page in the last 30 days. So I will select this option, and now I will change the name over here. I will say FP engagement and then 30 days. So by this, I'm targeting only people who have engaged over my Facebook page, and I will again exclude all the purchasers and also people who have like visited our website. So you can remove that audience as well. And once this is done, what you can do, you can again duplicate it and select. Now you should select website visitors, and then you can remove, like for example, you can select website visitors over here, and then you can select website visitors over here, and you can remove people who have purchased from your website. You can see I have added 90-day website visitors, but I have removed all the purchasers in the 90 days. Similarly, you can apply it for your ad set as well. So this is how you create your retargeting campaign. Once it is done, once you have added all the ads inside of each ad set, you will publish it. So that's how you create your retargeting campaign. Once you have run ads for more than 2 weeks, your pixel and your ad account has good amount of data to retarget people who have shown interest in your ads. Since they are your warm customers, they can be converted easily by showing some good ads to them. So for the structure of retargeting, you can have one ABO campaign. You can even try out CBO campaign if that works for you, but I normally go with ABO campaign. This is the ad set structure that you can follow. Always target middle of the funnel and bottom of the funnel audiences. For example, like one ad set in which you can add 75% video views, and you can add 95% video views inside of it as well. But if you want, you can have two separate ad set with each one having these single audiences. You can have one ad set in which you can have website visitors only, and you can exclude purchasers from it. And then one ad set with FB engagements and IG engagement. You can add them in the same ad set so that the audience side will just get bigger and you can basically spend your money easily. Otherwise, you can separate it out and test it as well. So always exclude bottom of the funnel audiences if you're testing middle of the funnel audiences. For example, let's say if you're testing 75% video views, which is a bottom, which is basically a middle of the funnel audience. So you should basically exclude, for example, website visitor or purchasers from it, because you're specifically targeting them only. And most important is to remove the bias from all the targeting that you are doing, because you don't want to target your bias until and unless, I would say, that you're specifically retargeting buyers for new product or special offer. Otherwise, you should exclude the buyers from your retargeting ad sets. So the budget would be, I would say, normally you should have a budget of $10 to $15 only, because the audience size is really small. So basically, if you have higher budget, it will show same people ads again and again. So I would say like a good budget would be $10 to $15 only. Now let's understand what lookalike audience are and how we can use these audiences in our testing campaign and in our audience testing campaign basically. So lookalike audience is a way your ads can reach to new people who are likely to be interested in your business because they share similar characteristics to your existing customers. And basically, these are the audiences that are highly likely related or have the same sort of characteristics related to your existing customer base. And your existing customer base can be anyone who has maybe interacted your ad creative, maybe visited your website, on purchasers as well. So you are basically finding out all the possible audiences that are kind of highly related to them, and that's how these audiences are really high intent audience that can convert and potentially convert really well. So how you can create these audiences? There are two ways to do it. One, you can go again to the audience section. Over here, you can click on lookalike audiences, and basically these lookalike audiences are created using your custom audience only. So you can click on this, or what you can do, the custom audiences that you have created, you can click on anyone. For example, people who have, for example, viewed our product for, let's say, 25% video views in the last 30 days. You can click on this. You can click on actions. Over here, you see create lookalike. You can click on this, and then you can select countries, for example, United States, and top 4 countries or whatever countries that you are targeting. You can select those countries as well. For example, United Kingdom, Australia, and Canada. This option. You can create the percentage as well. Like for example, I normally go for 5 different audiences. And what this means is provide you a data of how likely the audience is related to it. For example, you can say 1% lookalike consists of people most similar to your lookalike audiences. So normally I go with these 5 audiences because it has a good amount of size, anywhere from 3 to 5 million. I guess it's a good audience. So once you have these options selected, 0 to 2%, 2 to 4%, 4 to 6%, 6 to 8%, and 8 to 10%. So once you click on create audiences, what it will do is it will create these audiences for you. You see new lookalike audiences. So these audiences are basically, you can understand that, for example, like interest targeting, you have one interest for a particular, like it has a particular size. Similarly, these audiences, they are created by using your own audiences that have interacted over your ads. And basically with that, they have found out similar type of people based on your engagement and all activities of your customers. So on the basis of that, once you click on this, once you click on create audience, after you click on this, lookalike audience will be created. You have this campaign, the audience testing campaign only. Inside of that, you can create over here. Let me just do it. For example, like this. And inside of this, you don't have to select any sort of interest or so. You just have to go to your custom audiences. And over here, you can find out an option of lookalike audience. Once you create them, you will see lookalike audience over here. You will select that audience, and then that's it. And you can also add maybe countries options as well. If you have not added that into the lookalike audience while creating it, you may add some audiences over location part, like for example, United States or so. But that's basically it. And inside of that, you can add basically new creatives or the winning creatives that you already have. So it's nothing but another ad set in which you are just trying out custom audience. Instead of using interest targeting or broad audience, you're just using the lookalike audience. That's it. There is no difference between these other ad set, whereas this one, the only difference is the audience, the type of audience that you're targeting. So that's how you can use LLAs for, or I would say lookalike audiences, for finding out winning audiences for you. So now let's understand what type of audiences works really well. So these are the retargeting audience, or I would say LLAs, that are currently working really well. So low level engagement audience, for example, video viewers, 50 to 95% of audience. So you can use the same for retargeting as well in your retargeting campaign. But also when you're testing out different audiences, you can use them as the lookalike audiences. So create a lookalike of your custom audience. For example, your custom audience you selected with 50% plus views, you can create a lookalike audience for that. And then you can test out that audience in your audience testing campaign. The same thing you can do is create a lookalike audience of all the website visitor in the last 30 days. And similarly, you can do that for FB engagers and your Instagram engagement as well. And the high level engagement, these are the audiences that you can target for lookalike, because lookalike of buyers or purchasers works really well, because since the purchase is the highest, I would say like the activity that you want on your website. So any lookalike to that particular audience will be of high quality. So that's why you can use 0 to 1%, 1 to 2% lookalike audience of your buyers or purchasers. So you can basically view these type of audiences and create lookalike audiences for it. We know in 2023 that the creatives play a huge role in deciding whether your campaign or your product will be consistently profitable or not. With poor creatives, your winning ad set will also die down and your winning campaign will also die down. But with constant good winning creatives, you can scale your ads without even targeting a specific audience. You can even select broad audiences with no interest targeting, and only on the basis of creative, Facebook algorithm is so strong that it can find the right customer, the potential customers for you. So now let's understand how you can find and create some of the best creative and then scale it using those winning creatives. So these are the two type of creatives that you can use. One is the regular old style FB ads in which we have problem solution thing and which we do all the sales pitch and all, which looks like salesy and ad. And there are other recently performing and really well performing creatives which are UGC style and TikTok style content. I would always recommend to go with this type of content because this is what is working on Facebook and Instagram recently. And you can use the old style regular ads creative for testing as well. For some of our account, these ads also work, but I would highly recommend to switch to this style whenever you have some good creatives available with you, or if you have budget to hire creators to create some content for your ads with this style. So now let's, for example, when you're just starting out at testing our product through dropshipping, you can go with the regular clips that are available over different website and AliExpress and Alibaba. So you can use the same type of style videos that worked before, but this type of structure you can follow to create those videos. So for regular style FB ads, this is something that you can use when you're just testing out the product and you don't have UGC style or TikTok style content. So for this, you can use already available clips over the internet and you can follow this particular structure to frame your video. So for example, in this, for the first 3 to 5 seconds, which is called as hook or the scroll stopper, which is the most important part of your video, that in that what you can do, you can basically use a bold claiming thing, or you can have a bold headline as well, or you can mention pain point, or basically add some suspense into that clip so that people will stick to your video. So the first 3 to 5 seconds are really important and it is called as hook. So you can use these type of clips and captions for that, and for the next 3 to 5 seconds you can introduce your product at that time, in which you have a POV shot or maybe product in hand or maybe product in use. By this, you are making your potential customer feel that they are getting this product, the product is in their hand. So this is the next clip that you can have, and then after every 2 to 3 seconds you should basically change the clips with a benefit driven caption or showing a benefit or the product in use. So for the next, I would say 10 to 15 seconds, you can have multiple clips in which you can show benefit of your product in the caption and different clips of your product. And then maybe you can, if you have different reviews or testimonial clip available over the internet, you can add them to increase trust factor, or you can even use some feature related captions to your product. And in the end, you can end it with a benefit driven call to action. So this is the structure that you can follow, and the video length should be of up to 30 seconds only. So that's how you can create a video if you don't have UGC style or TikTok style content for your Facebook and Instagram ads. But once you have a good budget, or if you can find out some TikTok style content for your product, definitely go in that route, because that is something that has been recently converting really well even for Facebook and Instagram ads. So because the type of video we are talking about, they are native to the platform, they don't look salesy. So people don't feel that they are watching ad. They just see that this is another post that they are viewing. And if it is interesting, and definitely if it is related to them, they will watch the content. And that's why these convert really well. And since we have like raw footages and real people talking about the thing or the situation, rather than just jumping into the product and selling it, that is something that people relate most with the clip or with the video. And I would say, like, if you have testimonial type of video, they are really great for retargeting. And especially for retargeting, you should go with clips like that are basically talk about review or testimonial of the product, because these customers have already seen your ads, but they haven't taken any sort of action. So what you want is basically to increase the trust for your brand and for your product. And second thing, you can have some offer in maybe the ad copy or in the headline or description, so that they can feel confident about the product and the brand. And with the offer, you can basically close the deal. So that is how you can structure your FB creatives. And let's see how to test them now. So for creative testing, you can follow the simple structure, in which what you can do is you can create a creative testing ABO campaign, and inside of which you basically will be testing all the new creatives that you are launching. And you can follow this structure, in which you can have 3 ad set. In each of them, you can have your winning audiences. And by winning audiences, I mean to say the targeting. For example, let's say one interest is one of your consistent winning audience. So you can have that interest in this. And let's say one of a lookalike audience is winner for you. So you can add this over here. And let's say another interest is a consistent winner for you, so you can add over here. So basically you have to add your winning audiences in these. And then what you can do is you can have your creative ready. Let's say, for example, you have one video, but you are changing only one variable at a time. So let's say you just have different hooks in the video, so that you can find out
what hook works the best for you. So let's say if you have one clip or one creative with you with three different hooks, let's say only the first 3 to 5 seconds are different. So let's say if you have three videos to that, so this is an example. Let's say you have video one with hook one, video one with hook two, and video one with hook three. It means the end part of the video is same, only the first 3 to 5 seconds are different. So basically the hook is different. So we are basically testing out the hook. So over here what we have done is, in this one winning audience we have added these three videos, and the same video we have added in the next audience, and the same videos we have added in our third winning audience. By this, what you are testing out is what sort of hook can be winner for us, and ideally if it is a clear winner, it should be consistent in all the audiences. So once you find a consistent winner, for example, let's say in all of these three audiences you have found out that a particular video and hook combination is the best performing hook, so that will be your winning hook and creative combination, and that's how you find out your creative winner. So for example, let's say video one hook two is performing the best in all these three ad sets, so basically that can be a winning audience for you. You can run this campaign, or I would say that this test, for 2 to 3 days, so that you are providing a good amount of data to it. So once this done, you can have one clear winner. Always go with ROAS first, like the creative that has the best ROAS will be the creative, because that is our ultimate goal. If the ROAS are same, then you can go for the CTR. And let's say if the CTR is also same, which should not be the case all the time, then you can also go with the average play time. So this is the order that you can follow. But yeah, normally if you are running this type of structure, you will find out that one video and hook combination or whatever you are testing out you will find a clear winner out of it. Now you can have this winning creative, and you can then use this new winning creative to your audience testing campaigns as well, and also like CBO scaling campaigns, and basically anywhere wherever you are testing out new audiences thing, because this is the combination, or I would say this is the winning creative for you, which you should basically use it later on. And you can also use this creative for the audiences that basically are dying down.
So now let's see what advantage shopping campaigns are. So this is something that has been recently released by Meta Ads. These are the campaigns based on your account history. It basically means that it'll be pulling data from your past purchases, like add to carts or other events as well, like engagement, every data that your pixel has, your ad account has, right? And then compiling that data, understanding it, and leveraging the algorithm to do the targeting for you, both for new prospect and for retargeting audiences as well. It will take your best creatives that you already have and leverage them to generate the most profitable result. And it is understandable because from last 1 to 2 years, Facebook is promoting broad targeting. Even it has removed many interest, and it is supporting that the broader target that you choose, it will perform better compared to very niche down interest targeting. Okay, so you can use this campaign structure if you already have a good amount of purchase and a purchase history for last couple of months. So let's say if you have more than 400 plus purchases, then I would recommend you to use this campaign to basically test and see how this works on your account. So let's see how we can create an advantage shopping campaign. So first of all, what we have to do is we have to go to our ad account, then click on create. Here you will click on sales objective again, and then click on continue. In this case, you will see over here advantage plus shopping campaign. You have to select this one only and click on continue. And this is how the advantage shopping campaign looks like. First of all, you can set the name like advantage shopping campaign, and then you can select the countries that you're targeting. We'll be going with top 5, and then you can have either scale, or if you're going to add your audience like purchase audience, and I'll discuss like why you're adding purchase audience over here. So this should be pretty much it. Here you can select website. If you're seeing an option like website and shop, it means that you have shop enabled for your store. Then you can go with website and shop. But for now here, website is the best option. You can select website. This is fine. Ensure that the pixel connected is correct. And then as you can see, there is not much targeting options. Here, audience location, we'll change it to the top 4. So I'll go with 5 countries. You can also select the top countries as per your data, right? You can do the breakdowns and find the best countries that are working for you and select those countries only. But for example, I'm here going with the top 5 options, okay? Then this is the place where you will see options to add some data, for example, like purchase of last 180 days. Here you can mention the audience, right? And you can see like what this means is include existing customer in account setting to see audience type breakdown between your new and existing customers. Okay. So if you click on account settings and if you scroll down here, you can basically provide your existing customers. And on the basis of that, Facebook will analyze the data and provide you the traffic according to it, right? You can mention it over here. But if you're just starting out, I don't think it's for just starting out. Once you have a good amount of sales in your ad account, then you should go with this campaign setup, and then you can mention your existing purchase of last 180 days. So in this option, basically you have to select your custom audience that we created in the previous part. Okay, so you should select purchase of last 180 days, and then you can select the budget. I would recommend a minimum of $50, and then you can select the time. I would probably again go with the next day midnight time. This is fine. And also it will show you some suggested ads that you can use for this campaign. Okay. Or you can again go to the next level, which is this one, where you can actually add your best performing ads. And in this, it is important that you add your best performing ads, because this is the campaign which optimizes based on your winning data, like your winning audiences, your purchases, add to carts. And in that case, go with your best creatives so that it can leverage that data and provide you the best results. Okay, you will see that the setup here is very similar to what we have seen before when it comes to the ad level data. Okay, so you can select your page here. You can again provide the ads over here, and this is pretty much it. I would say you can add as many ads over here, but you should definitely add at least 3 to 5 ads. How you can do that? Once you add your first ad over here, like ad media, you can add the details, very similar to what you have done before. And then you just need to click on duplicate, quickly duplicate it like 2 times. So I would quickly duplicate it one here and then again, and I'll just change the data over here with, let's say, video 1 here, video 2 and video 3. You can also use your image ads, but this is pretty much it. Once you add these data, then you can just click on, you can come over here and then you can click on publish for these 3. Okay, you can click on publish, and this will be your first Advantage Plus shopping campaign.
That's it on how to run Facebook ads for your e-commerce store. I hope you guys enjoyed Facebook ad session.
Hey guys, my name is George Gabriel, and in this part of the video we are going to be covering TikTok ads. Now, I've been doing e-commerce for the last 8 years and I've scaled multiple stores, whether it's dropshipping or an actual e-com brand, to multiple 7 and 8 figures. Alright, now only on TikTok alone I can share with you some screenshots. Here's just one of my ad account that spent 180,000 on TikTok alone. So you're going to be listening to someone who knows what he's doing. You're going to be listening to someone who is actually in the business every single day. And I'm going to be covering a lot and revealing a lot of secrets in this video. Now, before we get started, there's going to be a link in the description that provide you with an ad credit from TikTok up to $1,500. So if you just want to create an account, or if you want to advertise on TikTok, you can click the link down below, add your credit card, top up some money, and you will have free credit to use for your TikTok ads. And if you liked the video, you found it valuable, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. You can also follow my socials, which are going to be linked in the descriptions. Let's get right into it, guys. So this is going to be TikTok Ads Mastery by yours truly, George Gabriel. All right. Now, what we're going to learn in this course is everything that you need to scale a business profitably. We're going to learn the most important thing, which is creative structure and sourcing. We're going to learn testing methods, how to test your product and how to analyze the data, how to kill and how to scale based on the data that you get, and common mistakes that people make. So first of all, let's talk about creative structure and sourcing. So what type of creative work well on TikTok? First of all, I want to say that the TikTok video, for me, what I've noticed, the shorter the videos, sometimes the better they perform. So I would always say test both, like short videos and longer type of videos. Usually you want it to have it between 10 to 25 seconds, not any longer. You want the videos to be native to the platform. What that means is you want videos when people are scrolling on TikTok, you want them to look just like any other TikTok. See, on Facebook ads, the difference is that you need to explain the benefit. You need to sell the product on Facebook. On TikTok, it's in a way, it's going to be more of an entertaining video than an ad. That's what works the best on TikTok. And then you should learn how to use viral sounds and concepts. What that means is, viral sounds is very clear, right? So the sounds that are going viral on TikTok, I'm gonna walk you through how to find them. And then concepts is basically when you look on your TikTok and when you are scrolling and you see these what do you do for living videos, right? Someone stopping the car and asking them, hey, I like your car, what do you do for living? You can take that exact concept and apply it to your e-commerce product. For example, one company that sell teeth whitening kit, right? You can have your friend drive the car and stop them. Oh, hey, your teeth are very white. How did you get them so white, right? And then it show them the product. This type of videos do really, really well because they have the virality element in them. Now, next we're going to talk about sourcing the content. So how do you get the content? So you have mostly two ways. One is you do it yourself. You, your friends, your family members, all you need is literally an iPhone and a ring light to be able to produce really good TikTok ads. You don't need any complex, any expensive camera equipment. That's literally all you need. Then you have also creators. Now, to find the creator, where you can look is few places. Number one is Twitter. So literally if you go to Twitter and you do hashtag UGC creators, you can find a lot of them. Second place is Instagram, right? If you click on Instagram, you type in hashtag UGC, you'll find a lot of them. There's also websites like Billo.app, that's BILLO.app. There's also a website like Fiverr and Upwork that you can use to find a lot of creators. Now, to find inspiration of ideas or videos that work for similar products, you can use the Creative Center that was created by TikTok, which is basically, if you are familiar with Facebook, it's like Facebook ads library where it shows you all the ads that are currently running. Let's take a look at it. So this is basically the Creative Center by TikTok. What's really cool because you can actually filter a few things. So you can filter by country, you can filter by niche, so which niche you want, which type of product. You can filter what type of ad you want to see, so conversion ads, so people who want purchases, and you can filter by date. Now what you can also do is you can filter by the top ads. So here you can see that I filter by the top 1 to 20% of all the ads that are now live on TikTok, and if you scroll through them, you can see amazing examples of winning ads that people are using. Next thing we're going to talk about is testing. So what testing method should you use when you are running TikTok ads, and how do you actually test your product? Now, first of all, and the first rule is you want to test at a low budget. You don't want to start your ads at like a $500 a day budget if you haven't validated them yet, okay? So usually what I do is I start with $60 to $100 per day on my testing campaign. You will need at least 4 to 6 different creatives, all right? As I said, ABO campaigns are always the best options for you to test. And you make sure to select the right settings in your ad sets. I'm gonna go through it in a bit. And the last thing is tracking. So tracking by TikTok is very horrible, right? So it's very important to actually use a program like HiROAS, Northbeam, or Triple Whale to track your data. HiROAS and Northbeam are a bit expensive for most beginners, so Triple Whale I think would be the best option for you guys, and it does the job. Now, let's go over one of my TikTok ad accounts and let's take a look at how you actually want to structure your testing campaign. So you want to click on create, you want to click on website conversions, name the campaign test 1, and then continue. So in the campaign itself, we're going to name the first ad set broad because we're going to be using broad targeting for the first ad group or ad set. Then you have the pixel, TikTok pixel here. So as you guys can see, this is actually a test account. So I don't really have a pixel connected to it, but you just want to select your pixel and select complete payment as your optimization event. Then the placement, I usually go for TikTok only. Advanced setting, and you want to disable video download and just keep user comments and video sharing. Targeting, the location of course depends on your product. So let's say you are selling in the United States, so you want to retarget the United States. Gender, of course here you guys want to use logic, right? So if you're selling something for women that are in the age of 18 to plus, then that's how your setting should look like. Then we have to look at the interest and behavior. As you guys saw, we've targeted broad for the first ad group, so here I would not touch it. Then the budget and schedule, I would like to always start with at least $25 on the ad group that I'm using to test. Start time and date, always go for next day at midnight, okay? And everything else here, just leave it as it is, okay? Now, this is how your ad set should look like. Now, of course, this is a broad ad set. Now, ideally, what you should have is a total of 3 to 5 ad sets testing different targeting. So for example, I'm going to be doing 3 for this example here. So one is going to be broad, which I already showed you. Another one is going to be broad interest. So what that means is an interest targeting, but still fairly broad. So let's say, for example, we are selling something for, as I said, for women. In this case, it would be beauty and personal care. So as you can see, this is an interest, but it's fairly broad. So it's not very specific, right? Now, then what we also want to do is we want to do specific targeting. So delete this and do specific interests. So here what I usually do is I combine multiple specific interests. Let's say you are selling a cream for face. So target face. And you can see now we have multiple options that you can target. So face makeup, face powder, face masks. And you can literally, select multiple specific interests that are related to your product. Now, again, use logic with this, okay? And that's basically how you set up your ad groups inside of TikTok. Now, I showed you this example. Of course, you want to have a total of 3 ad groups running at $25 each. So if you have 3 to 4, that's going to be $75 to $100 per day on ad spend. After you launch your first testing campaign, we are going to talk about analyzing the data inside that testing campaign. So what is the most important metric? The most important metric is always your ROAS, your return on ad spend. Nothing else matters. If you are profitable, good. If not, then that means there is a problem, okay? Now, CPC and CTR is talked about by a lot of people. CPC stands for cost per click and CTR stands for click-through rate. All right, these are very important metrics, but these cannot be used to judge the performance. They are not as strong as your ROAS. Right? But this could actually be used to compare results. Or if your budget is very tight, you can use them to judge the performance. I don't personally recommend it, but if you are running at a low budget, then you have to do what you have to do, right? So let me explain to you how to actually look at these metrics and what they mean and what is good CPC, bad CPC, and a good CTR and a bad CTR. So as for the CPC, on TikTok, you should actually get way lower CPCs than Facebook. Usually, I would like to have 20 cents of a CPC or below, all right? Now, again, 20 cents or below. But let's say, for example, you have a 50-cent CPC, but your ROAS is like 2.5 or 3 ROAS, then the CPC doesn't really matter. Then your ad account would perform well with a 50-cent CPC, okay? So again, ROAS is your, of course, favorite metric. Your ROAS is your most important metric. I'm just talking to you guys from my own personal experience with my ad accounts, what I usually see working. But I've seen other ad account work with a higher CPC. So always look at the ROAS, right? Now, CPC usually 20 cents or less, and CTR should be close to 1, 1.2, 1.3. That's perfect CTR. Anything below 1, you should be worried about, like 0.8, 0.7 is not a good CTR to run with, okay? Now, this metrics, how can you use CPC and CTR to compare? So let's say, for example, you've launched a test. You've launched a test with 4 to 5 creatives. And you see on your best and most profitable creative, you are getting a CPC of, let's say, 15 cents, and you are getting a CTR of, let's say, 1.2. And then you launch another test. So before you actually spend a lot of money on the test, if you spend the first, let's say, $30 and your CPC is extremely higher than your winning ad, so let's say instead of 15 cents, you are now getting about $1 CPC, that means your creative is not performing very well, right? You can use those to compare data against your winning ads. Now, what does a good test look like? Now, as a dropshipper, when you are testing the products, what's most important for you is getting sales, right? What a good test would look like from the first 2 days, you need to see profitability. And I'm not talking about 1.8 ROAS or 2 ROAS, because these are okay, these are little profitable, but they are not scalable, right? What I'm talking about, in order for you to have a winning test, you have to have anywhere between 2.5 to 3 ROAS. That's for me is a good test that can be moved into a scaling campaign, which I'm going to talk about in the next section here. Different scenarios that you will run into. First scenario, if it's not profitable. Now, if the test is not profitable at all, I would look at the data, right? Where is the problem? Is it the conversion rate on my website? Right? Is the conversion rate way too low? So maybe I need to make changes on the website. Is my CPC and CTR bad? So this means that the ads basically are the problem, right? So if the CPC and CTR are good, but the conversion rate are bad, then that means you need to change the website. But if the conversion rate is good, but your CPC and CTR are bad, that means you need to change the ads. And in most cases, these are the two things that you need to be working on. If breaking even. Now, if your ads are breaking even, then you can, take the winning assets out of that campaign and combine them. So what I mean by that, let's say, for example, your testing campaign, as I said, it has 3 assets, and one of the assets is extremely profitable, but the other 2 are bringing the campaign down because they are not profitable. What you can do is you can just turn off these bad assets after spending 2 times your AOV. So if your product price is $40 on your website and each one of these assets spends $80, I would then kill those bad assets if the results are bad, and I would keep basically the good one for a couple more days to see if it becomes profitable, like the whole campaign, for me to scale, okay? If profitable, of course, we move into scaling, which I'm going to talk about in the next slide. There you go. So in this slide right here, we are going to be covering killing and scaling on TikTok. So when do we kill? Usually I kill the ad set or ad group after spending 2x my AOV. Again, your AOV is basically the average amount, the average order value, which is the average amount a customer spends on your website. So if that number is, let's say, 40 and your ads would spend $80 without profitable results, then I would kill them, okay? If you are on a tighter budget, you can actually kill by looking at the soft metrics. Soft metrics meaning CTR and CPC. So as I talked about earlier, right? If your CPC is way too high, like you are testing and you get $1.5 CPC, you don't need to run that test for very long because that will not change with time, right? So if your CPC is very high and your CTR is very low, from the get-go, from the beginning, after the first day, you can already kill and you can test different videos. Now, when do I scale? When is the moment that I'm like, okay, now it's time to scale? So scaling, first of all, the first rule of scaling is that you cannot scale unprofitable asset or just with little profit, because as soon as you add budget into your ad set, what will happen is the ROAS will go down, right? So you have to have an extra room for you to be able to scale. So usually on my test, I would like to have 5 to 10 profitable purchases at a high ROAS, so a 2.5 to 3 ROAS. I would not scale an ad set with just a little profit. So if I'm getting 1.8 or 1.9 ROAS, I actually would not scale. I would optimize the business first to increase my ROAS before adding more budget, because that would just, make me unprofitable. Now, how do we scale? So scaling, I have few methods, but a lot of these methods are going to be advanced, and if I give them to you, you are just gonna be overwhelmed. So we're gonna keep them actually for our mentorship program, which you can, guys, by the way, if you would like to join it, the link is right here. We will be covering all the advanced method in the program, and we will be monitoring them with you so we know that you are not spending way too much money and losing money on your TikTok ads. But for now, what I'm going to be giving you is the easiest way and most efficient way for you to scale that you cannot mess up, which is basically increasing your budget by 20% every 3 days. So for example, if you are running a test and the test is profitable, right? After 3 days of running it, you can just increase by 20%, and you can do it every 3 days. And this 20% will be growing and growing and growing, so that by 1 month, you can be literally spending like 1K per ad set, literally on your winning ads. Now, what's really important is, while scaling, you have to have enough creative to handle the budget increase. So on TikTok, what's really important to understand that the creatives die quickly. So if you are running with the same ads and you are just pumping more and more and more budgets into them, within the few weeks, let's say within 2 to 3 weeks, you will notice that performance is dipping on those ads. So to counter that, you need to be adding new creatives into the ad account every single week. What I recommend you to do is to at least be testing 5 to 10 new creatives a week. Now, the last thing I'm going to be talking about, guys, is the most common mistakes that people do when they are running TikTok ads. The first mistake that I see a lot of people do is scaling too quickly. So they are, they run the ads, they get 1 or 2 sales only, and they start pumping up the budget. They go from like $25 on that ad set to like $100, which will kill the whole ad set and will ruin their result, right? So don't scale too quickly, guys. Make sure you have enough sales. Make sure you validated your product, and make sure you have enough data to prove that the ad set can be scaled. Next, not understanding how important it is to be creating a creative machine. So what do I mean by creative machine? I mean you should have, once you are scaling, you should have 1 or 2 creators making you content every single week so that you can handle the scale. Because if you don't have that, you cannot really be scaling TikTok ads very aggressively. The next thing is thinking that Facebook and TikTok are similar. That is not true. See, Facebook, the machine learning is much older and can understand your target audience much quicker. With TikTok, it's a bit more random. That's why creative will die very quickly, because it keeps showing the same piece of content to the same people. So if you don't switch the creatives very frequently, your TikTok ads will die. Okay? Then scaling with too low of data sample. Now, what this means is scaling with, let's say, not enough purchases. So let's say, for example, you're running your first test and you have 3 sales and you're like, okay, let me scale, right? That's not good. You should have 5 to 10 sales. After that, you scale a little bit. And after the first scale, and you need to also see more sales coming in. You cannot scale with a low sample of data. So you always need to be seeing the sales increasing with the scale that you are doing. So if you are adding the budget up, but the sales are not increasing, that means you should lower down the budget, because you are not going to become very profitable. The next thing is scaling with a low ROAS. So I mentioned, guys, so if you have 5 to 10 sales, but your ROAS is a 1.8 or a 1.9, this is still not scalable results, because as soon as you add more budget, the ROAS will start dropping. Next thing is not using a tracking software. So as I said, TikTok is horrible at tracking conversions. So you need to use something like Triple Whale for you to have more accurate results. Not having a good offer for TikTok. So again, I see this all the time as well, which people running with the normal dropshipping 50% or 40% offers, which don't usually work very well for TikTok. What a lot of very good offer work for me on TikTok is buy X, get Y. So buy 1, get 1 50% off, or buy 2, get 1 free, or even buy 1, get 1 free. These are the best offers you should be using for your TikTok. Next is not taking advantage of viral trends. So this is something I explained at the start of this video, of which you should always be using viral concepts. Okay, like the Daniel Mac, what do you do for a living concept, right? Stopping people in their car, like, hey, excuse me, your car is nice, what do you do for a living, right? You can do the same concept, which stopping someone in the car, and make it around your product. Another thing that you can also use, or another concept is, which is like interview style, right? So basically stopping your friend at a mall and pretending to interview them and basically show your product. And one company that does this very well is a sneakers company, which sells sneakers that improve your height as a man. So they get a man who is really very short, and they basically ask him and his girlfriend, so, what do you think of your height? And like, yeah, I would like to be a bit longer or a bit taller. And then they would introduce him the sneakers and then get the girlfriend reaction, right? These are amazing videos that you can use as ads, and they will definitely go viral, generating you a lot of sales. I hope you guys enjoyed this presentation. I hope you guys learned a lot about TikTok ads from this presentation. Now, if you have any questions, please feel free to message me on Instagram at itsmegeorgeg, or feel free to also leave a comment under this video, and we'll make sure to answer all of your questions.
So guys, I hope you're enjoying the free course and you're learning so much from it. Now, this is just a quick reminder halfway, just to let you know you don't have to watch the free course in full in one go. It's not recommended. I'd recommend that you take some breaks, get some chapters, write down where you left off, and you come and finish the video off. And it should take you around about 1 to 2 weeks to watch this in depth and get all the knowledge from it so you can apply it to your dropshipping store in 2024. So before we move on with the next part of the free course, I want to bring you guys, the viewer, the first announcement of something that we've been working on. So you as the free course viewer are getting early access on what I'm about to announce. Now I'm super excited to announce what we've been working on behind the scenes to bring e-commerce mentoring to more of you guys. Now, e-commerce mentoring is the team that made this free course, and with the team that's been making them for the last few years. Now, most of you guys that are watching this know about e-commerce mentoring and our great track record in the industry. Now, most people weren't able to be part of e-commerce mentoring due to the exclusivity and the price of the program. Now, what we've been working on behind the scenes now brings e-commerce mentoring to more of you guys watching this, and it gives you the opportunity to be able to be part of the e-commerce mentoring educational program. And the reason why we're using the free course to announce this is because you guys are serious about starting your first profitable dropshipping store in 2024. And we feel like if you're very serious about this and you want to take the next step of education, then this is the best opportunity to do it. Now, I'm going to be getting my business partner, George Vieira, to explain the rest of what we've got that we've been working on behind the scenes that's going to bring e-commerce mentoring to more people.
At e-commerce mentoring, we're always hard at work to develop a solution that can fit most of our audience's needs. We've been the leading online service provider for e-commerce business education for the past 5 years. Our students' results speak for themselves. To empower our community of students to help each other, we have 3 tiers in our program: our Hummingbird students, who are just getting started, and 2 tiers of experienced students: our Hawk students, who have generated over $10,000 in sales, and our Eagle students, who have generated over $250,000 in sales. Our mentoring program just works, and over the past 5 years, we've seen many students launch global brands, quit their regular jobs, and completely change their lives.
I have been a student in this course for about 3 weeks now. My mentor, Mohammed Mahmoud, helped me build a proper landing page, find a winning product, manage and analyze the ad data, and so on. In my first 2 days launching ads at $5 a day, I've made $160 in sales with about $80 in profits.
Some of our students even went on to become mentors themselves, and we pride ourselves on only hiring mentors who have been some of our most successful students before. Yet there was one thing that we always struggled to overcome, and it has to do with the affordability of our offers. Our flagship e-commerce mentoring program isn't cheap, nor can it be. It requires dedicated attention from an expert who also runs their own business, and as you can certainly anticipate, the time and attention of someone who is extremely successful cannot ever be cheap. However, we've always wanted to offer a similar life-changing opportunity to as many people in our community as possible. As you all know, the Ecom King, our founder, has always been the leading online personality in making e-commerce business education accessible to everyone right here on this YouTube channel. So as you can imagine, the fact that our only educational offer is rather expensive and not accessible to everyone is something that has bothered us for a long time. Today, I'm so happy to announce that we've finally been able to resolve this issue. Meet E-commerce Wayfinder, our new program that provides students with an all-new learning experience in 3 different ways. This new program will be priced at half the price of our current mentoring program, and it will offer about 15 hours of training, all created by our mentors on the latest strategies that we're utilizing and teaching right now. But it is so much more than that. After launch, we're going to continue updating this program and making it a richer library of content that is always up to date and that you can rely on. Also, at e-commerce mentoring, we've never really been fans of courses. Don't get me wrong, some courses are great and valuable sources of information, but when it comes to teaching a practical skills such as starting an e-commerce business, they're very limited in the sense that they cannot offer actual support that is tailored to a student's difficulties. We have a range of up to 15 hours of training on launch to be expanded as we go, as well as practical video walkthroughs where our mentors show you exactly how to apply what you learn.
My mentor Siraj has been absolutely wonderful for me. Honestly say 100% without him, I definitely wouldn't be where I'm at right now. There's certain things that you can't just learn through watching YouTube videos and courses. You know, it's good to have someone there by your side who's actually done it.
To help you quickly start your business, we provide you access to an enormous library of files that we use on our business. These range from ready ready to go product page templates, high converting templates for static Facebook ads, templates for copywriting, for reaching out to suppliers, where to source your products, you name it. If you need it, it's probably there. And if it's not, you can just let us know and we'll add it. E-commerce Wayfinder also includes a monthly Q&A call with our mentors where you can get your questions answered, and a bespoke monthly one-to-one call with your very own student success manager, dedicated to making sure that you're moving forward with your business and addressing any obstacles that may come up. Adding to all of this, you also get lifetime access to our Discord community, where you can directly interact with all your fellow students of all tiers, including the most successful Hawk and Eagle students who have been in your shoes before and have made their goals a reality. Our community is vibrant and active daily. Our students learn from each other and even schedule calls to help each other out and start businesses together. How game-changing it can be to have a supportive community around you that is always willing to give you a hand whenever you feel stuck. If you want to learn more about E-commerce Wayfinder, check out the link in the description. We've spent the last few years developing a unique opportunity for you to be able to reach your goals and carve your own path. Thank you for being a part of our community. We'll see you inside.
Hello and welcome to the Google Ads section of the 2024 free course. In this presentation, I'm going to show you how you can leverage Google Ads to make the most of your traffic in your Shopify business. This presentation will not make you an expert in Google Ads, but if you're a beginner or an intermediate looking into dabbling into Google Ads for the first time, then this is the ideal way for you to get started. Google Ads is a rather complicated platform. So what I'm going to be doing with you in this presentation is I'm going to be teaching you how to understand the platform and how to go through the basics that you need to start adding some good, hopefully a very, very good share of extra revenue and profit to your e-com store. So without further ado, my name is Jorge Vieira and I'm going to be teaching you how to get started with Google Ads. So point number one, when should you run Google Ads? This is very important because Google Ads is not something that I would recommend anyone and everyone to get started with in any given situation. It is a very good tool, but it is, I would say, still a little bit situational. So if you're a beginner, I'm going to break this down into two situations, for a beginner and for someone who is a little bit more advanced. If you're a beginner, you should start with Google Ads if you have a solid top of funnel source of traffic already going for you. Okay, so this is Meta or TikTok. Sorry, let me move my face here so you can see it. This is Meta or TikTok. For most people, it's going to be Meta or TikTok. So Meta, of course, you know, Facebook and Instagram ads, and TikTok being TikTok. What is a top of funnel source of traffic? A top of funnel source of traffic is a platform that generates interest from people that don't know about your business just yet. So Google is a bit different in that regard. So that's something that I want you to know right from the start. Google is not the best platform at generating interest. Google is very, very good at capitalizing on interest and intent that already exists. So this difference is very important for us to notice. Okay. If we have Meta ads and TikTok ads, the way they mostly work is they show your ads to people that are interested in certain things that you want to target. So they will show your ads to people that have a high chance of responding well to what you're showing them. This doesn't mean that people that are going to see your ads are already interested in what you have to show them. They probably don't. They probably haven't heard of you before. They might have, but they might not have. With Google, it's different. Most Google ads trigger on searches. Most of them trigger on searches. And Google also has a backend with interests and everything, but the most powerful way for Google to target people is based on their search and their activity. So Google shows people ads based on what they search for. And I'll show you some examples in a minute, but this is why I'm saying that if you already have a platform that brings in new people that still haven't heard about you, then Google is very good at channeling that interest or that awareness into buying customers. People that are on the fence, people that already heard about you, but they're not sure. Google is very good at making sure that they see your ad all over the Google network and that they end up converting. But Google is not great at bringing in new people that are not yet aware that you exist. So if you're a beginner, I would highly recommend that you start channeling your efforts towards one of these two, Meta or TikTok, which we teach you how to run in the free course as well, of course. And then you start Google. Once you already have a few scaling campaigns, you're already making some good profit on Meta, on TikTok, then you start Google. If you don't have a good solid top of funnel, as a beginner, it's going to be hard for you, or at least harder for you, to crack top of funnel with just Google. Okay, so that's the first thing. This picture right here to end this first slide on a more positive note, which is to say, if you already do have a top of funnel platform, then Google is extremely powerful. You can see here, this is a triple whale screenshot where you can see that this particular account is not making money on Facebook alone because break-even return on ad spend is about 1.5. So on Facebook, it's just doing 0.97. So it's not breaking even on Facebook, but on Google, it's extremely profitable. So across both channels, it becomes profitable, right? So that's what I'm trying to say. And this is what Google is very, very good at doing. Even in a case where you don't make money on your top of funnel platform, you can make money off Google. Now, mind you, you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't go to Google and just lose money on Facebook and then say, I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to make money. No, this situation here, this screenshot, to be very clear, this is an extreme scaling scenario in a very short window of time. And I just took this as a very extreme example to show you how the ROAS can be massively different between Facebook and Google, just because of how Google operates. Don't think I'm going to lose money on Facebook because then I'll make my money back on Google. That's not the idea. This is an extreme scaling scenario when we've made a conscious decision that we could eventually lose money on Facebook. We didn't. This is a very limited time window. In the end, even Facebook was profitable. But even so, it would have been a rational decision to lose a little bit of money on Facebook to bring in new people because, we can capitalize on them afterwards through Google. Now, point number 2, if you're experienced, you should run Google Ads if you have a unique product. And this is assuming that you don't have another top of funnel source of traffic. That is the premise here. So what I'm saying here is, again, if you're a beginner and you have a top of funnel source of traffic, run Google Ads. If you're experienced, you can run Google Ads even without another top of funnel source of traffic, or use Google as your first one if you have a unique product. And the reason is, I wanted to make it very visual for you. The reason is right here in front of you. This is what happens when you run a dropshipping product on Google Ads without other sources of traffic and you try and make money off of just Google straight up from the front. This is what happens. If you have a product that other people are selling, Google is literally going to show your product side by side with everyone else's product. So that includes AliExpress, and you have Temu here as well. All of these extremely cheap websites are going to show right next to your ad. So it's going to be very hard for you to crack your customers and actually get people to buy your product, because obviously your product is going to be shown right next to your supplier eventually, who's going to sell it for cheaper. So avoid Google Ads if you don't have a unique product and you don't have another source of traffic as top of funnel. And even if you do, sometimes if your product is not unique, Google Ads is not great. If your product is unique, you're in the right place. If your product is not unique and you have another source of traffic, give it a go, but know that this is a possibility. So this is something I want to make everyone very aware of. You should double down on Google when you're able to start differentiating your product, start branding it, start making changes. Then Google becomes really powerful because it shows this. It shows, look, there is this new alternative. This thing is different. It's more expensive, but it's different. It's better. It's been improved. If you're literally selling the same thing as everyone else, Google is going to be tough for you. So I'm just saying this because I don't want you to try Google Ads and be like, oh, Google has never worked for me. I can't make it work. If you're selling a product that is not unique, it's very obvious from here that it's going to be hard for you. Now, that out of the way, if you know that you're in a situation where Google Ads is going to be good for you, let's talk about point number 2. What will you need to start running Google Ads? You're going to need 3 things. You're going to need a Google Ad account, you're going to need a Google Analytics account, and you're going to need a Google Merchant Center account. These things take 5 minutes to create, if that. It's very, very simple. I'm actually going to start from the bottom towards the first one. Google Merchant Center, you don't even need to worry about it because Shopify creates this for you. So if you have a Shopify account, you don't even need to worry about this. Google Analytics account, go to analytics.google.com or Google for Google Analytics and find analytics.google.com and just log in, create an account with, this is important by the way, use the same email that you want to use for your Google Ads and for your Merchant Center. The email that you have on your Shopify account, use the same email to make the analytics account because it just makes the integration easier inside of the Google ecosystem. So go on analytics.google.com, create your Google Analytics account, and use the same email that you use for Shopify. That's it. And then for the Google Ads account, I'm going to show you exactly how you can do it. before that, let me just show you where you'll tie all this in. In your Shopify dashboard, if you click on sales channels and then you click Google and YouTube, if you don't have the Google sales channel, then search for it and install it because you're going to need it. And then you go on settings here and then, whoops, let's go back. You go on settings here and then you want to connect your Google Analytics account by connecting the same email. You log in here, you collect your EU Connect, your Merchant Center account, or creates one for you, and you want to connect your Google Ad account. So let me show you how to connect or create your Google Ad account in this case. So you go on ads.google.com. Put this to the side. You go on ads.google.com and you log in with your email. Here we go, George Vieira, ecommercementoring.com. And then it's going to say you do not have any Google Ads accounts yet. Would you like to create one? Yes. And then you go create a new Google account. And it is going to just ask you for a little bit of information here. Add your business information, create your ads, set your budget. Not ready to create a campaign, skip campaign creation. So here, you do not want to create a campaign from this screen. This is like very basic and very like automated, done for you stuff. You want to have full control of everything that you're doing. So you skip this, you just put in your billing country. In this case, it's the United Kingdom. GMT is our time zone, and currency, we are going to set this to United States dollar. You can use whatever currency you like. It's just that when I do financials, I'm used to doing everything in dollars because I like to run all my ads platforms in dollars. So, it's really personal preference. Do be careful though, because some banks, if you're going to use a credit card or debit card to pay for your ads, some banks are going to charge you currency conversion fees. So be mindful of that. You might want to use the same conversion as your bank to avoid just conversion fees. Do you want personalized guidance by phone? No, I wouldn't recommend this in general. It's really not that great. It's really not that great most of the time. Get tips, feature invitations, no, submit. And that's it. We're all done. Explore account. And here we are. We are in the account. So we're going to be coming back to the account in just a minute. I'm going to show you how to create your first campaigns. But before that, let's talk about this here, which is what is Google Ad? I want you to be able to visualize what a Google Ad is and what you can see with a Google Ad, right? So I'm going to show you exactly how you can visualize by giving you an example. So in this example, I just Googled for iPhone and we're going to see some Google Ads from Apple. See this? It says sponsored. It's the exact same website, apple.com, that shows here, apple.com. But this is the organic search result. This is the search ad. Right? This says sponsored. It means that this is an ad. It looks like a link, but it's a search ad. This is exactly what a search ad is. And when we get to search ads, there's something that we're going to see, there's something that we're going to see called site link extensions, call out extensions. That's what these are here. Site link extensions is when you can put in different links to your website. They're going to show here inside of your main search ad. So you have your main search ad that takes you to the main website, apple.com, but then you have subcategories. Buy iPhone 15 Pro, shop iPhone, buy iPhone 15, compare iPhone models. So other subsections of your website that your customer might be interested in, which gives them just a shortcut to go directly to what they want to do. I mean, I might be interested in a 15 Pro, I might be interested in a 15, I might not be sure, so I might want to compare, like what's the difference. It gives your prospect more options to just go straight into what they want to do. And then you have the shopping ads. The shopping ads are these ones with the pictures and the price. And I'm using a tool here just to see the ads results, but the price is going to be here, right? The reason price is not showing up because I'm using a tool that makes a few changes here. But this is the idea, right? Shopping ads, the ones that we've seen before, the ones that are really bad for you if you have an unoriginal product, and search ads. And then we're going to have something else that we're going to talk about. So let's go back here. Let's go back into our presentation and let's talk about which type of campaigns we're going to choose. We're going to use search ads, we're going to use shopping ads, and we're going to use this third type called Performance Max. This is the new type of campaign, or the most recent type of campaign. And what it does is it incorporates all of the ads in the Google network inside of one single campaign. You'll notice that I haven't really talked about YouTube ads before because YouTube ads is a science in its own, in a way that learning how to do shopping ads and search ads and learning how to do YouTube ads, they're very separate things. YouTube ads has a lot of specifics. So I'm not going to talk about YouTube ads, but you should know that Performance Max also includes YouTube ads for you. So it makes it extremely convenient. You just create a Performance Max campaign, and within that Performance Max campaign, you have search ads, you You have shopping ads, you have YouTube ads, you have display ads, which we didn't talk about because they're really not great, at least for me. Never really worked very well. But Performance Max is Google's machine learning system where you give it your assets, your pictures, your videos, and then it pushes those assets to everywhere in the Google network according to what it thinks is going to do best. Anyway, again, this course here isn't meant to make you a Google Ads expert and to know everything about Google Ads, because that would be extremely confusing if you're just starting out. The objective here is to give you something that you can start running right now, take action right now, and start using Google Ads for your business. So these are the three that we're going to use. We're going to use Performance Max, we're going to use shopping ads, and we're going to use search ads. Let me explain why. So we are going to use these three because we're going to split two things. We're going to split branded volume and non-branded volume. The idea, unlike with Facebook and TikTok, where most of the times you're going to be using a lowest cost, highest volume kind of bidding strategy, where you just let Facebook or TikTok decide how much they're going to bid for each of the ads in order to get you the best results. And it's all automated. You don't have to care about any of that. It all goes on in the back end. It's really simple, and it's really great for anyone in most cases, really. Google is different. You're not going to do automated bidding. You're going to start with optimizing for, you're going to start with an automated system, yes, but it's not your end game. Where with Facebook, you can go very far with automated bidding. Here, it's a bit different. You're going to start with automated bidding on your Performance Max campaign, but afterwards, you're going to set a target ROAS, which is when Google gets to a point where it already knows your customers and how much to bid for each of your customers to get you the best results, you're going to set a target ROAS. You're going to say, I want a return on ad spend of 150%, which is 1.5 ROAS, right? So let's say your product, take the same example, and our break-even return on ad spend is 1.5. Right? If our break-even return on ad spend is 1.5, we can say Performance Max get me sales at a target ROAS of 1.5, 150%, because it works with percentages. So it's going to go do that, and it's going to try and bring you more customers at break even, which if your customers on average buy more than once, then you're going to be profitable in the long term, and you can afford to bring in new customers at break even. That just there is fine. You set a target, which is your break even, and tell the campaign that you want to make money, or you want to spend your advertising money to bring in customers at that cost. But the second part, the branded part, is where it gets more interesting, because non-branded volume means people that don't know you yet, people that search or that have their activity associated with terms and keywords that are not related to your brand. So let's say that you're selling a posture corrector and your brand is called Posture Perfect. People that search for Posture Perfect corrector, or Posture Perfect posture corrector, Posture Perfect back posture corrector, whatever, if your name is in there, then that's branded volume. They're searching for your brand in specific. They're not searching for just the product. If they just search for best posture corrector, top 5 posture correctors, best brand for posture correctors, it's non-branded because they're searching for something that they want. They want the product, but they're not sure about which brand they really want. Right? So this is the split between non-branded volume and branded volume. And the idea here is that we use our Performance Max campaign to automate and use a target ROAS that is close to our break even. So if we were at 1.5, I would set this to like 1.6, 1.7 target ROAS and say, get me new customers at just a little bit of a profit. I don't mind. And then on the shopping and the search ads campaign, you set this to just branded volume. So these are going to only target people that are after your brand in specific. And these you're going to set at a higher target ROAS because it's not going to be very competitive with Posture Pro. Right? Maybe best posture corrector is going to be competitive. So you need to bid higher and spend more money to get that customer because they're just looking for a posture corrector. If they're already looking for Posture Pro, it's going to be a lot cheaper to get that impression, to show your ads to that person, because unless you have a bunch of competitors that are bidding on your brand, which unless you're a big brand, it's not going to happen, then you can get those eyes a lot cheaper. So you set much more restricted target ROAS on these two campaigns. On these two, you're going to set target ROAS like 2, 3, maybe 4x. So you're going to say, Google, get me these conversions at a much better profit because this audience is going to be much cheaper because they're searching for your brand already. You just need to bid, get those eyes, and they're going to convert a lot easier because they're already searching for you. So that is the logic behind this campaign setup. Now, what does a successful campaign look like? It's going to look like this. You're going to get a ROAS, let's say, in this case, 3.5, but this case, it's going to be like 2 on the Performance Max, and then like 4, 5, 6, sometimes 12, 15, 20 on your shopping and your search, because the branded volume is going to give you a very high return and the Performance Max is going to be just a little bit above break even, right? So let's now go into the ad account and I'm going to show you how you can set up these campaigns. All right, so we're back in the ad account and we're going to create our first campaign. We're going to click create here, click create campaign, and we're going to start with our Performance Max campaign. I always like to go create a campaign without goals guidance, because this is really just like presets that they apply onto the account. So it doesn't really matter. You just start with this. It's easier in general. I would recommend that, because you have more control over everything that you decide to do. Then Performance Max, and then of course purchase, and you can name it whatever you want. You can use enhanced conversions, that's fine. And then here is the bidding part that I was telling you about. What do you want to do? You want to focus on conversions or conversion value? And if you do conversion value, you check this, you do target ROAS, and if you wanted to do your 101.7, you do it 170%, right? This is how you do it. You don't want to start by doing it from the beginning though, because unless you already have, if you already have a lot of data on your Google account and you've already been running Google ads for a bit, then you can do it. But if you don't have a lot of data, I would say less than 50 conversions per week on Google, don't do that. Just go for regular conversions. When you have like 50 conversions that are being fed into Google every week, then you can start using target ROAS. You can be a little bit less conservative and start at less conversions, but I would go for 50. And once you've done this, you can do this, optimize campaign for acquiring new customers, which kind of goes in line with what I was telling you, that you want to go for non-branded volume with the PMax campaign, but there's another way of doing it. I'll show you how to do that in a bit. Then all countries and territories, enter another location, United Kingdom. This is very important. I had this in my Google slide, in my slides here a moment ago, and I forgot to mention it. So notice that I said here, one setup per market, right? One setup per market. That's very important, because you want to do one of these setups, PMax and brand and search, per market. You want to use one per market, because PMax is, again, a machine learning thing. So it optimizes based on the sample that you give it. And if you give it a sample that's very different, like worldwide, where consumer behaviors are very different, it's not going to work very well, right? Because it's not able to really learn and hone on your target market. So, excuse me, you really want to have a restricted sample size so we can optimize better. I would go for one market. You can go for like the English speaking market, but still I would be too big. I would do like US, UK, maybe some European countries on another one. Just segment it as you see fit, as your customer behaviors and consumption habits might change from market to market. So in this case, we do United Kingdom. You don't really need to set up a language here, because unless you're in a country that speaks multiple languages and your ads are only one language, you don't need to worry about this. You don't need to worry about any of this. Next, here is where you create your assets. So you put in your product URL here. You add your images. It allows you to add up to 20 images. Add 20. Give it as much to play with as possible. The more assets you give it, the more powerful it's going to be. Add your logo. Add your 5 videos. Add your 15 headlines, long headlines and descriptions. Make them very closely associated to your best keywords. So if your business, again, is posture corrector, it's going to be like back pain, maybe herniated discs, maybe poor posture, maybe hunchbacks, whatever. The powerful keywords that are associated with your product, put them in the headlines, in the long headlines and descriptions, because it's going to help Google understand who your target audience is a lot better. Then call to action, I like to do shop now. That's what I like to use. More asset types. You can set these up later at your account, or you can set them up here as well if you want. Unless you're like taking calls, or it's not too important. The prices you have Shopify, it's going to pull from Shopify anyway. You don't need to worry about a lot of this stuff. Display path doesn't really matter unless you want to have a different link to be shown. If your link is very ugly or something. And if you're using third-party trackers, you can use UTM parameters. But anyway, those tools will tell you how to do that. You don't need to worry about that now. Then important thing is an audience segment. You should add an audience signal here. Sorry, signal, not segment, which is going to be a way for Google to know where to start looking. So it will be a few interests to target initially. It will be like choosing where your audience is, who they are, so they can, Google knows where to start searching. Really, it's just a signal. It's not like a rigid targeting option where Google is only going to go for those people, but it's more of a signal for Google to know where to start looking. And then you can name your audience, save it, click next, and then here I'm going to show you the budget. You just set up a budget. I would recommend $50 a day initially. Less than this, it's probably going to be very hard for you to do something, because again, it's a machine learning campaign. Performance Max is a machine learning campaign. I would even go up to 100 really, but if you really are on a tight budget, then 50. Keep in mind, this is going to take a while to start spending. It's going to take even longer to learn, and you need to allow it to spend for at least, I would say, 2 weeks, because it's a very hungry budget or a data hungry campaign, which means that it has to spend money in order to give you the data that you want to get, right? There's just no other way. It's like Advantage Plus shopping with Facebook. They're very data hungry campaigns, because the less manual control you have, the more machine learning is going on in the back end, of course. So, and machine learning gets better as it gets fed more data. So you got to spend more to make your campaign more effective. Google even, I hadn't noticed this to be honest, but it even tells you this: don't change your budget for the first 14 days. What it's really telling you is give it time to optimize, learns how to optimize and get more sales, which is very understandable, just given how much of a hands-off type of campaign it is. And then once you're here, summary, you just review everything, you publish your campaign, and that's really it. So for the Performance Max, that is all we need to do. There's actually one more thing that I want to tell you about the Performance Max campaign, which is when you go here on Tools, Shared Library, Brand Lists. Create a brand list. Very important, right? Very important. Let's go with our Posture Pro example. All right, and it's going to be, your name is going to be Posture Pro, okay? It's going to be, if you've been running ads for your brand, if your brand's not completely new, then it's going to be here. If not, you can do request a brand to add it. But if there is any search volume, any significant search volume for your brand, it's going to be in here. So you create a brand list. And when you create a brand list, obviously I can't create this one because it's really not there. Well, we're going to use ecommercementoring.com. We don't run Google Ads, so there's really no data here. Let's do Apple, for example, right? Just as an example. Here you go. Let's say you add a brand here, an example, you add Apple, you save it. And then what you want to do is you want to do this to apply as a restriction, to apply as an exclusion. And then you set your Performance Max campaign. This means that your Performance Max campaign is not able to deliver to brand traffic for your brand. And that's what I was talking about before, right? It cannot deliver to that brand traffic. You click here, like apply as exclusion, and then your campaign comes up here and you can add it there. That's pretty much it. That is pretty much all you need to do to exclude your brand traffic. Now, next campaign we make, create a campaign without goals guidance. Very simple to do as well. Is our shopping campaign. What is this? Conversion goals, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, this is just because I really don't have any data on this account. So obviously just an account to show you how to set up the campaign. Your Merchant Center account is going to show up here. So make sure that the Merchant Center account is showing up there. By the way, don't forget that if you're in a completely new account, you're going to have to wait for your Merchant Center to be approved. That's going to take like 5 days or something. And then that's going to usually takes like 3 to 5 days. Don't stress about it. It's normal. Sometimes it comes back with a few errors that you need to fix, but it tells you what to do on Shopify. So that's all you need to do. Then here, it's going to ask you afterwards. I can't do it because I don't have a Merchant Center account here, but it's going to ask you afterwards, do you want to make it a Performance Max? It's going to try to push you to make it a Performance Max. Obviously, you don't want to make it a Performance Max. You want to make a shopping campaign, and all you want to do is to make sure that on the settings, you set the priority of this shopping campaign to medium. So it's going to be the same priority as your Performance Max. Actually, Performance Max takes priority, but that's what we want because we want Performance Max to take priority over the shopping campaign, and the shopping campaign only fills in the gaps of where the Performance Max campaign doesn't go. And that is our branded volume, because the Performance Max campaign, again, is only going to go unbranded because we added that exclusion through the brand list. And then the shopping campaign is not going to be able to go compete because Performance Max takes precedence if you set it at medium priority, but it's going to fill in the gaps, which in this case is the branded volume. So it's going to go for that volume. That's the important part. Then the other important part in terms of bidding strategy, you can start either with a target CPC or you can start with just maximize conversions. And the idea is, again, when you get to those 50 conversions a week, you transfer it to target ROAS, and that's pretty much it. You just need to monitor, leave it there. It's very hands-off as well. Very simple to do. That's the shopping campaign. And then the last one that we want to create is the search campaign. So for the search campaign, what you want to do is use this as the gap filler, just like the shopping campaign, for the branded volume that doesn't get taken by the Performance Max, but you do it at a much better cost, right? So again, you're going to do your search campaign at a very, very good target ROAS. You're going to set it at like 300, 400%. So it capitalizes on all the volume that doesn't get taken by the Performance Max initially. I'm going to walk you through this so you can see how to set it up. Very simple. What do you want to focus on? Conversions. Again, start with conversions, and then you can change this to value, return on ad spend, and there you go. Exactly the same as with the Performance Max. Next, don't include these. I would not include these. They generally don't help much, and they really aren't very good for your ROAS. That's just something from experience. Maybe if you're more experienced, you want to give it a go, do a split test. In general, I wouldn't do this. United Kingdom, then you must click this here. Be sure to click this because there's this cheesy option that they put in here to make you waste money, which says presence or interest, people in, regularly in, or who've shown interest in your target locations, recommended. And then it says presence, people in or regular in your target location. What is the difference? The difference is that if you select this, Google is allowed to show your ads to people that are not really in the UK or in your target country, but just have shown interest in, like if they want to go on holiday to the UK or whatever. It's just a sneaky way for Google to spend more money. So make sure you select this one. Select the language. Again, same logic as with the Performance Max. And here you want to use keyword match types. This one is important, right? Don't use just broad match for everything. Use keyword match types because it's important that you learn how to use keyword match types. It's a very important thing. If you go broad match everything, you can spend a lot of money inefficiently. So let's click next. And now we're in the keyword section here. I'm going to show you what these match types, I'm going to show you what these match types are. I'm going to explain it so you understand what they should be. Okay, so I'm going to use Google's own page to explain this to you because they do a very good job at explaining. You can just Google for keyword matching options and you can get on this article. I'm going to show you what this means, right? Broad match, phrase match, exact match. There's 3 types of keyword matches on Google. And it's very important that you understand the differences because broad match will show searches that relate to your keyword. They may not even include your keyword, right? So this is dangerous. If you use your keyword and then you use, let's say your keyword is furniture store, you can be showing ads to home decor, cream colored leather section, this stuff that may or may not be related. And it's stuff that can also have a lot of hits. It can be keywords that have a lot of hits. So the problem with this is that if you're in a tight budget and you set yourself a broad match and you find a keyword that has a lot of searches every day, it can just blow through your budget in minutes, literally. So if you're a beginner, if you're not sure what you're doing, if you're just getting your first experience with Google Ads, I would stay away from broad match entirely, okay? Because it's dangerous. When you know a little bit more about keyword search volumes and what keywords to go for and how to protect yourself from spending too much money, then you can start playing around with broad matches. But initially, I would just recommend you stay away from this. Phrase match. Ads may show on searches that include the meaning of your keyword. Okay, so your keyword is furniture store, cheap furniture stores, living room furniture deals, right? It's only got one word. What store is the best place to find a bedroom dresser? So searches that include the meaning. It's still not the same keyword, but it has to be the same meaning. It's not relate, because relate is completely free for all, almost. They have to include the same meaning. So phrase matches are step 2. And we'll look at this as step 1, step 2, step 3. You start generally, as a beginner especially, to protect yourself from overspending. You start with exact matches. Ads may show on searches that are the same meaning as your keyword. So it's going to generally be stuff where the word is included. They've changed this a bit recently. It used to be more strict, but now, same meaning as your keyword. It's still fairly tight matching. You want to start with this because this gives you a lot of control. You can go for keywords that don't have crazy volumes. I've covered this in all of previous free courses. So if you want to know how to find out about keyword volume, check out my other Google Ads sections from the last year's free course. There's an extension for Chrome called Keywords Everywhere. It's very easy to use. I've gone in depth on how to use it in the previous last year's course, so you can check that out. But the idea is if a lot of people search for that keyword, you're going to blow through your budget very quickly, and you don't have, because it's a huge audience, you don't have that much control. So by using exact matches, you stick to stuff that is more specific, people that are more interested and potentially more related to your funnel into what you're showing them, and you have more control over your spend. So don't go for stuff that has crazy amounts of search volumes. Go for stuff that is very related to what you're selling. And this is what we usually call long tail keywords. Keywords that have more than one word. Keywords that are, for posture corrector, let's say, best posture corrector for lumbar therapy, whatever. Stuff that is very connected to your product, because it's going to be much lower volume because it's very specific, and the people that see it are going to be much more likely to buy from you because, again, it's super specific. So this is where you should start. You should start with exact matches, and then when you're scaling, you can scale to phrase matches, and ultimately you can try out broad matches. Okay, but this is very important for you to understand. Another thing that I want you to understand is that negative keyword matches are different from positive keyword matches, right? This is positive keywords. Negative keywords is when you want to tell Google, don't show my ads for these keywords. And with negative keywords, we have negative broad match, negative phrase match, negative exact match. Negative broad match is anything that includes either word in your keyword, right? So if you do running shoes, your ad, negative broad match is anything that would show your keywords, both of them in any order. So blue tennis shoes, your ad would appear because it's just shoes, it's not running shoes. Running shoe, it would also appear because it's not shoes, it's shoe. Be careful with this kind of stuff. And then blue running shoes, shoes running, running shoes wouldn't show up because they're the same words. Negative phrase match is any of your words in any order. Blue tennis shoes, running shoe, blue running shoes. Negative phrase match only stops the keyword from showing if the two words show up together in that same order, right? So blue tennis shoes shows up, running shoes shows up. Blue running shoes doesn't show up because it's running shoes. Shoes running shows up because it's not in the same order, right? It has to be running shoes, and then running shoes doesn't show up. Negative exact match will only stop ads from showing if they're the exact same words in the exact same order with nothing else, right? So blue running shoes will still show, only running shoes exactly will be stopped, right? You can spend more time because I know this is a bit complicated for a beginner to just take all in at the same first time, but you can look at negative keyword matches and positive keyword matches on Google's help documents and spend some time reading through this. It's very important that you understand it, that you still waste money, so you don't waste money with your search campaigns. Now, going back to your search campaign, this is very simple here. You want to enter your keywords here. Remember, this is for brand, right? So we're going to use the keyword match types that we've learned, this here. And what we're going to do is we're going to use phrase matches for our brand. So we're going to do Posture Pro. Sometimes people do spaces, so Posture Pro. Sometimes people do Posture Pro Corrector. Just all the branded keywords that people would use to search for your brand, you can put them in here. One thing that you can also do here is you can go broad match. This is an exception. You can go broad match with your brand name because you really don't want, in this case, anything that matches your brand, you want to exclude. If you're doing search campaigns for something other than your brand, you got to be careful with the broad matches. But here, because you really want to include. You really only want to include your brand because everything else is going to be taken by the Performance Max. You can use Posture Pro. So all your branded traffic goes in here. Be careful though. Sometimes your brand name might be something that's very broad and the broad match might still go and target something else. You can look at it afterwards in your campaign analytics and figure out if that's happening or not. But in general, just be careful with broad match. If your brand name is very specific, like Posture Pro is a pretty specific name. So you can try using it as a broad match to make your life easier in your brand search campaign. And then it's the same thing. Enter all of this for budget on the brand search campaign. It's it's not going to spend that much money. You can do like $10 a day or something. It's probably not going to spend that because it's just, again, taking up all of your brand traffic, which is going to be extremely cheap, and it's going to be giving you a very high return. So the budget, $10 is probably going to be more than enough.
All right, so another thing that I want to tell you guys about is how you can handle the cutting and scaling situation after your initial 15 days of running your campaign. So earlier I told you how you set up your Performance Max campaign, and then I explained a bunch of things, how to get it together, and then I said, don't touch it for the first 15 days. Now, what I'm going to explain to you now is what actually happens after those 15 days.
So as I've mentioned before, you start with maximum conversions as your bidding strategy, and then you're going to gravitate towards target ROAS at a certain point in time. So let's go through step by step and understand how this happens. First thing, again, you let your campaign run for 15 days and you don't touch it for those 15 days. That is the time that Google recommends for the campaign to optimize. And it is a very data hungry campaign because there's very little manual labor involved, very little intervention from the advertiser. So we must respect this time and we must let the campaign gather enough data. So by the end of the 15 days though, if your campaign is below break-even ROAS, so if your campaign is unprofitable, you need to stop and switch your creatives and your offer. Don't let it run for too long. Calculate your budget to make sure that is in line with your profit margin. If you have a larger profit margin, you need to have a larger budget. If you have a smaller profit margin, you can afford to do a lower budget. But with Performance Max, I really wouldn't do less than $50 a day for 15 days. So it is quite expensive to run these type of campaigns. If, however, by the time the 15 days go by, you still don't have, you're still not above break-even ROAS, then it's time to stop and switch your creatives or your offer, because that should be enough time for your campaign to optimize. And if even then you still haven't managed to become profitable, then you really need to examine what you're doing, because it seems like Google is not going to be able to get you the results that you need. If you are above break-even ROAS, then it's time to start doing incremental budget increases. What I recommend is that you increase your budget by 30% every week. So you let it run for 15 days and you can start doing incremental increases of 30%. And then you give it 7 days, you do another increase, wait 7 days again, do another increase. Try not to do more than 30%. I like 30% because it's not too aggressive. If you go too aggressive, you might re-optimize the campaign and lose performance. So I try to keep it under 30%. So 30% as a maximum. The next thing to take into account though is that when you get 50 conversions per week, so when you're at a point in your scaling that you're getting 50 conversions a week, then it's time to switch to target ROAS. Target ROAS is in general a lot more powerful than maximum conversions because it just aims for a certain level of return and you have a lot more control over it. So again, 50, you can try an early switch, but I really wouldn't recommend it. I would rather do 50 conversions per week. So ride maximum conversions with incremental budget increases until you get to 50 conversions a week and then switch to target ROAS. So, excuse me, when you switch to target ROAS, the cutting and scaling works a bit differently. If you are below break-even ROAS, if you're unprofitable with target ROAS, you increase your target ROAS, right? So if your break-even return on ad spend is like 150, 1.5, 150%, and you set your target ROAS at 200%, then you're saying to Google that it needs to spend your money and bid automatically to get you results at a return on ad spend of at least 200%, so 2x. If you've set your 200%, let's give this as an example, but it still is not profitable, then you need to make your target ROAS more ambitious to force Google to bid in a way that is going to be more likely to push your profit margin higher. So if you are unprofitable, increase your target ROAS. Do monitor this though, because target ROAS operates off of the conversion data that gets reported back to Google. So if your Google Analytics account has an issue and your conversion data is being overreported or underreported, this is going to affect heavily how target ROAS works, because target ROAS needs to know if you're selling or not to be able to adjust your bid. I've had issues before where Google Analytics messed up and it was over-reporting. So Google thought that my campaigns were a lot more profitable than they actually were. So it started spending a lot more money and very liberally and very unprofitably. So this is not a hands-off kind of thing. It's not a set it and forget it kind of thing. Target ROAS, you must monitor it actively and on a regular basis. So you set your target ROAS, but then have a look on a daily basis at what Google is doing. It doesn't mean you have to go and change things and change budgets and change things all the time. You shouldn't do that, but you should monitor it to see if Google is reporting your conversions accurately, if your target ROAS is aiming for a good amount, if it's getting there, if it's not getting there. What should happen if Google believes that it cannot hit your target ROAS is that it should not spend. So it just stops spending. But if it is spending and not hitting your target ROAS, then you need to do something about it. You can try first, again, increase your target ROAS. If it still doesn't work, then you should look into your Google Analytics account, because if it continues to spend and it's not getting the target ROAS that you set, then there could be an issue with your Google Analytics account. If you are above break-even ROAS, if you are profitable, then you can decrease your target ROAS all the way down to your break-even ROAS as a limit, right? As a lower limit. Because if you are at 200 and you're really, really profitable, you can make it 150, which would be your break-even, and see if it can spend more money and still make you profit and more profit, because it's even though your margin is going to be less, you're going to make a lot more sales. You're going to get a lot more sales because you're spending more on advertising. So if you're above break-even ROAS, if you're profitable, gradually decrease your target ROAS and see how Google reacts up to the point when you're breaking even. If you're breaking even, then it's time to start increasing it back again, because of course you want to be making a profit. So it's about finding that sweet spot between maximum spend and a healthy return on ad spend, because that's where you're going to maximize your profit. And yeah, that's about what we need to know about cutting and scaling with maximum conversion target ROAS. Keep in mind that with target ROAS, if it hits your budget, so if you're profitable and you're hitting your budget every single day, it's maxed out, then maybe increase your budget a little bit. Again, if you're not profitable, it shouldn't really be spending your entire budget every day. And if it is, do check your Google Analytics account to make sure that nothing's wrong. That pretty much covers it for the 3 campaign types. Again, this year with the free course, this year with the Google Ads course, I wanted to give you more of an understanding of the overall strategy and the ideas of what you're doing. If you want to get more specific on exactly how the steps should go for a particular campaign, I would recommend you watch last year's free course, because then I covered how to start your Performance Max campaign, and the previous year I covered how to start your shopping campaign. So all of the detailed step-by-step plan that you need to set up the campaigns for this year's strategy have already been covered. So I wanted to take the time, instead of boring you with the same thing, I wanted to take the time to explain more in depth what the idea behind the strategy is. And hopefully this helps you frame your thinking when it comes to Google Ads and how to start running Google Ads for your brand in 2024. So thank you for watching. You're watching the Ecom King 2024 free course, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.
So hey guys, this is now the TikTok organic section. Here we're going to be talking about everything you need to know in order to succeed in TikTok organic in 2024. So here we're going to be talking about the mindset that you need in order to succeed in TikTok organic in 2024. The most important thing that we need to understand now is that here we are sacrificing our time instead of money to generate income. And this is because when we have a budget of $1,500 to $2,000, when it comes to testing products, the process is much quicker. However, in the organic approach, it may take us between 7 to 14 days to decide if a product is even worth testing. Also, organic demands 70% more efforts than ads when it comes to the learning process. This is because we will be posting a minimum of 3 times a day for over 2 weeks, which is 42 videos now that we need to make and edit. Now, it's very important to understand that this is not an easy process, and success requires learning from each mistake and the ability to replicate what works. So now we're probably wondering, why do organic instead of ads? And the answer is simple. It requires less than $50 to start your dropshipping journey. But not only this, you will also be able to understand the concept of going viral. And these specific skills can be replicated on TikTok and Instagram. Secondly, the same skill set can help you in other business ventures, such as promoting physical local stores, assisting content creators in boosting their performance, or even launching your own brand organically in any niche you decide to dive in. This can also help you setting up your own marketing agency in the long term. Another reason is that engaging in organic methods and understanding the metrics will significantly increase your knowledge in ads. So by this I don't mean you will actually be a master when it comes to running ads. However, you'll easily understand what a hook is and how a good hook is essential for your videos to go viral or even capture your audience's attention when it comes to running ads. And the reason why Mohammed didn't talk about UGC content was because we are going to be talking about it here. This skill can also, so the reason why, and the reason why Mohammed didn't talk about UGC content was because we're going to be talking about it here. Lastly, before we move on to the next slide, I want to say another reason why organic is a good way to start is also because you will be able to create content with just your phone and edit it. And this can be an essential skill when it comes to organic as well as creating your ad creatives. So here are the metrics to follow when we are posting on TikTok. So the first tip that I'm going to give you guys is to avoid getting too emotionally attached to your product. Always keep in mind that the next product might be the one that changes your life. So make sure that you post 3 times a day in Eastern Standard Time. In the first week, aim for at least one video to reach 10,000 views, and if not, review your content. and if you believe that your content can be improved, consider moving on from the product. When you're reviewing your content, compare your videos to your competitors' videos. Compare the quality, the posting frequency. Strive for at least one video to go viral, and if it doesn't, it might be time to let go of the product and test a new product. However, if you are bringing a new product on TikTok and one of your video does 50,000 views or more on the second week, test it for a third week. Just because sometimes with new products it takes longer to figure out what it takes it to go viral. Remember that consistency is key. Remember to post 3 times a day. Use EST times when you post, and use Google to convert the posting times based on your country. Now, to reach 1,000 followers before going viral, consider using coins to boost your video. In the next section, I will show you how to do this. So right guys, now I'm going to show you how you guys can gain 1,000 followers before you actually go viral, but just buying coins. Also, all you want to do is go on the video that you guys want to promote. So you want to click on the 3 dots on the bottom right hand corner. You then want to press promote. You then want to go on customized promotion for other goals and press more followers. You then want to go on next. You then want to leave the default audience and let TikTok choose for us. You then want to put a budget of $10 a day for over 3 days, and you then want to go and promote your video. And this guys should help you gain your 1,000 followers before you actually go viral. Right, here I'm going to be talking about what makes a video go viral. Now we need to understand that we can go viral for multiple reasons, so I'm going to break this down for you. So the first rule is the 0 to 3 second rule. We need to understand that the TikTok audience has a short attention span. So if you don't capture their attention within the first 3 seconds, your audience may skip the video and you won't go viral. And in order for you to capture their attention, this can all be done by just using a compelling hook. Now, you always need to make sure that you reply to comments with either a rhetorical question or you just reply back to the comments. Always. And this is just normal responses below your video, and it's not a video reply. And this is because the audience will come back to the video and comment again, which will help you push your video out more. When recording your clips, you can add something random in the background that captures the user's attention and leads them to comment. So for example, in one of my videos, I decided to add a banana inside a Spider-Man's mask. We all know what this means, and your audience love to see such things and point them out in the comments. Use of trending hashtags and sounds. Now this plays a key role when it comes to organic reach, because if you manage to use the right hashtag and sound, TikTok will automatically push your content out due to the song or hashtag going viral. And the reason you might be going viral might actually not even be your content. Now I'm going to show you some examples after this slide. So now guys, since we've just spoken about what makes a video go viral, I just want to show you a small example of a TikTok product that went viral, and just want to speak about why I personally think it went viral. So yeah, I'm just gonna play it once and just show you what happens in the video. Now, as mentioned in the previous slide, I was talking about the 0 to 3 second rule. So I'm just going to play the first 3 seconds of this video again. Now, as we can see in the first 3 seconds, we can see a caption saying they celebrated his last birthday with a broken heart and a sad emoji. But we also can see a dog lying down and with somebody holding his feet. So clearly this is, in these 3 seconds now, there is 2 different hooks. One is the dog lying down and somebody holding his feet, and one is the caption itself saying they celebrated his last birthday. So as we can see, within the first 3 seconds, this person has managed to hook the audience perfectly. So now, as we can see here, what they've done is they showed a video. So here again, the product is a very good product. As we can see, it's showing a moment of that with that dog before he passed away. So again, it shows sentiment, and I think this product is a very, very good product, and they've done a very good job to catching the audience's attention within the first 3 seconds. So now here we're going to be talking about how you can take full advantage of the viral effect to boost your videos. So now the first thing we need to understand is that when one of your video goes viral, it will automatically push all of your previous videos and new videos out. So for example, if one of your video goes viral, all of the previous videos with 500 views could be pushed out to 10k or more views. Sometimes this can even lead to an old video to go viral. And this recently happened to me when one of my videos went viral with 1.1 million views, causing my first video, which had 1k views, to go viral and reach 2 million views. So now, to boost your upcoming videos, start doing video replies on the viral videos comments. This will help push your viral video out further, as your audience coming from the video reply will likely to go on the viral video to understand the storyline between the two. Now, normally when one of my videos goes viral, I increase my posting frequency, going from posting 3 videos to posting 4 or 5 videos a day, depending on how my account reacts. Now, it's very important that we understand that every product and every TikTok account might react different. So for example, if today one of my videos goes viral, tomorrow I will decide to post 4 videos, and the day after I will start to post 5, and observe which days my videos perform better. And this will make me understand if I should post either 3, 4 or 5 videos a day. But make sure you don't post more than 5 videos a day, because TikTok does not like that. So now the content strategy after a viral video is up to your preference. You can either post 2 videos with hooks and your storyline, and 2 videos replying to your comments, or you can post 3 videos with hooks and storyline and 1 replying to your comment. Again, it's entirely your decision. So here's a golden trick. Once you go viral, understand why that video went viral and replicate the same success on your next video. Copy what worked in your viral video, use a different background, keep the same hook but with different words. So what's going to happen here is that the TikTok algorithm won't recognize this video, and now there is higher chances of you replicating the same success and the same virality of the previous video. And again, if it's a sound that helped you with your virality, use the same sound and focus. So again, if it's a sound that helped you going viral, use the same sound again. So hey guys, this is now the product research method, and this is the method number 1. So as you guys can see, I've made a brand new TikTok account, and this TikTok account will be our dummy account. So now once you've made your new TikTok account, all we want to do is go and search for TikTok made me buy it. Now once we search for TikTok made me buy it, we will see other drop shippers like this trying to make their content go viral and drop ship through TikTok Organic. Now all we want to do is go on these videos, like, comment and follow these accounts. And we want to repeat this process for the next 10 to 15 minutes. We literally just want to go and like, comment and follow these accounts. So now I'm going to go and do this for the next 10 to 15 minutes. So now guys, once we've done this for the next 10 to 15 minutes, we want to then go back on our For You page, refresh it and start doing the same thing. So liking, commenting and following any drop shipping account that we see on our For You page. Now we want to repeat the same thing here for the next 10 to 15 minutes. Now, once we've done this for the next 10 to 15 minutes, our For You page should be full of dropshipping products. We want to keep commenting, liking and following these dropshipping accounts whilst we are looking for our product. So now, in order for us to identify our winning products or products that are currently working on TikTok, all we need to do is click on the account and look when was the last time they posted. So if they posted within the last 2 to 3 days, that's a golden product. Now, as you guys can see, I found this electric hoodie. Now, all we want to do next is go and validate our product by going and looking on Amazon and reading the reviews. Now, we always want to make sure that we choose products that have 4 stars and above. So now guys, for method number 2, all we're going to do is go on the same dummy account we've made for method number 1, and all we're going to do is go and search for TikTok made me buy it. We're going to filter first within last week, and if we can't find products, we're then going to go and filter to last month. So we're going to start off this week. All we want to do next is start scrolling down these videos and look for a product that catches our attention. So now I'm going to go and look for a product that catches my attention. So yeah guys, I found this product now. I'm just going to look at it. So as we can see guys, I just found this product. As we can see, the person posted 5 days ago. If I go and look at the account, they posted 3 hours ago and 8 hours ago. Again, they've been posting consistently. So now that I found this product, and I've actually even found some proof of concept for this product, all we want to do now is go on Amazon and type in the product name. So for this instance, it was a pizza mover. So this is what I'm going to be typing in on Amazon. We're then going to look for the product and see if we can find some reviews. So guys, as we can see, we can't actually find reviews for the same product. So an alternative here would be either going on AliExpress and trying to find some reviews on the product to give us more insight, or look for a similar variant and read its reviews. And guys, this is how you can find products using method number 2. So guys, this is the third method, and as you can see, I'm on my computer, and as you can see, I'm on Temu. Once we get on Temu, all we want to do is open all of these different sections. So I'm going to open them in different pages. So I'm going to open bestsellers in a different page, 5-star rated in a different page, new year and new arrivals. So now that I'm on my bestseller section, all I'm going to do is filter within the last 7 days, and I'm going to work my way to 30 days. I filter to the last 7 days and I'm going to start scrolling. So as we can see, guys, we can see multiple dropshipping products. So for example, we can see this wireless charger, 3-in-1. We can see this hair curler. So as we can see, guys, I've already actually found one product, which is this self-fitting jacket here. So I already know this is a previous winning product because I did see it last year and I did see some people doing it this year. However, I'm going to look for another product. I'm going to keep scrolling. So this product actually caught my eye. It's a portable foldable mini washing machine. So now that I found this product, all I'm going to do is see if it's available on AliExpress. And if it is, I'm going to then search the name of the product on TikTok to see if there is any competitors running this product currently. So guys, as we can see, I've just literally found this product from Temu. All I've done was search the name of the product on TikTok and I managed to find this product, this competitor. And as we can see, this guy has been getting a lot of views. Guys, as we can see, the last time he actually posted was a couple of months ago. So that means either the product did die out or he actually just stopped running this product. However, as we can see, he's been getting a lot of views and he's been doing really well. So guys, as you can see, all I've done is search the product name on TikTok and I found this competitor. Now this shows us that there is a proof of concept around this product. And lastly, all we want to do is go on Amazon and check the reviews and see what people are saying. So as we can see, there's been over 1,000 sales on this product and there's been over 4.5 stars in reviews. So guys, this means that this is a good product that we can go and sell out organically. So now here we're going to be talking about what a hook is and how a hook plays an essential role when it comes to organic. Now, a hook is anything that grabs attention. A TikTok hook is the start of a video that grabs the attention of the user, and this can be by what's happening in the video or what your text is. This is essential for your videos to go viral quick because it will capture the moment where the viewer will just want to keep watching the video or share it when it comes to, and this is one of the most important things when it comes to going viral. So now guys, here I'm going to give you a structure on how you can create your content. So first of all, start with a plan. So plan your content before you even start shooting. Understand your storyline and shoot according to that. Picture how you will edit each video and make sure you do not start shooting without having content plan ready. So make sure you guys know what your hook is going to be and what you're going to be doing in the video before you actually start shooting. Make sure that you use high quality phone camera. Make sure that you have good lighting, and remember, if you can use natural lighting, that's even better. Make sure that your first few seconds are very engaging or use a strong hook. Try to use TikTok effects when possible. Always ensure that your audios are clear. So if you are doing an ASMR sound, make sure that the audio is clear. Always make sure that you engage with the audience. Either reply back to the comments below the video or make video replies to the comments. Now experiment with different content styles to understand what resonates and what works for you. Make sure that you show and just don't tell. So make sure that you show and don't just tell. So if you are conveying an emotion or a reaction, use body language to show that in the video. So here guys, I'm going to be talking about why TikTok videos need to be edited in a certain way and how this can sometimes help you on going viral. So now first point is the attention retention. Small cuts, well edited videos will keep your audience engaged. Now if you notice on your For You page, sometimes when you're scrolling, you will see videos that have small cuts. And if you pay close attention, you will realize how that helps you stay engaged and watch the rest of the video. Now, creativity. Being creative when shooting and editing your videos not only makes you stand out from your competition, but if done right, it will even work better than them. So for example, there was a time where I had a product where my competitor had 24,000 followers. All I done was showed my product and slowed down when it came to the wow factor, which made it 10 times better. Well, my videos went all viral and within less than 4 days, I was on 32,000 followers. Engagement boost. Now, engagement boost, this will make your audience engage and share your video more, which again will help you push your content out. Always make sure when you're editing your videos, it helps you stick to the narrative structure and not drift you away.